Cool. So I think that was a reasonable recap. So yep, you guys did a lot of crafting. You noticed some interesting behavior by Lord Jiro. He was meeting with people, but you were unable to overhear any conversation. Somebody did follow him, I can't remember who. And then Oz spoke to Oliver Johnson, the info broker, and he had something to sell to you, but Kridi decided to talk to the rest of the group first. You pulled some money together, sold. What did you sell? One of the blanks?
Yes, the discs.
Okay, yep. You sold a disc to whatever her name is, Anna, something like that.
It is now.
Yeah, I can't remember what her name is. Some reason it's written down here.
The Sand Spiders person.
Yeah, the Sand Spiders Soul Forger.
Yep.
Soulsmith. And with that money, you went back in the morning to buy the information, or I should say Kridi and Rukka did. And along the way, they saw... they didn't. Kridi saw a murdered street kid, or a killed street kid, being dragged off by some exiles. Rukka didn't notice that, and they also found that there was some kind of thing going on in like the mini bazaar, and there was like an investigation going on with like a bunch of the guards and some of the exiles, and you sort of intimidated the guards. They said that Lord Jiro was investigating, but it looked like the information broker that you wanted to talk to had been murdered. There were 3 dead bodies. One of them was like damaged beyond any form of recognition. Yeah. So you sort of did some investigation, and as is notable of this group, failed every check. So chalked that one as unsolvable and moved along. So then you've regrouped with the exiles. They're bringing like a detachment of guards under the command of Peter. Jiro and Gumbak are also going, who are like notable exiles. There's like a bunch of exiles going. Amir, Jack, and Henry are going with like a group of elite fighters from the Sand Spiders with you, and sort of will pick up at the gates of Dragon Teeth as you head out. And so as you as you head out, there's sort of a bunch of Sand Spiders to see you off, and we'll just wait for Oz to come back. But some other housekeeping that we might keep in line is wait, did I actually level you up?
Did you? I'm still level 7.
Yeah, it's just I don't think Afanen is level 7.
Oh, that's right, because Kaylee was recalcitrant.
Did I do that? No, I didn't. You
whatever
picked up
that means.
level of rogue. So let's do that.
Aren't you an author and an educator?
Yep. And now a burger shop employee. I have many talents.
Let's do Afanen.
Do you make the burgers or just serve them?
I just serve them. Yeah, I don't put me in front of a grill. Bad things will happen.
You will summon forth the dark powers of the underworld.
Yeah, there'll be like pentagrams made in sauce and like.
You know, that is a niche burger joint, and you should definitely definitely take that to the manager and say, "Hey, I got an idea."
I've got this great idea.
So Afanen's going to either need to roll a d8 for hit points or take average. Their choice.
Oh.
Alright, that's pretty bad. So that will give you 4 extra hit points. It's not too bad. Alright, and at 4th level you will get a feat or ability. Oh no, you won't, because we're not doing that. We're doing you on full levels. Never mind. So what do you get at level 4 of as a rogue? Probably nothing. Rogue. Yeah, okay. Nothing. Next level, you'll get Uncanny Dodge. Alright. Hit points. That was the difference that it made. Efficiency bonus doesn't go up. And next level, you get some more sneak attack. Alright, cool. Very well. And now your character's up to date. Well, that was actually really easy to do. Well, no spells. Ha! Spellcasters making things difficult.
Yeah, that's why I love rogues. No spells.
Other things that I think I should remind you of. While you're in the wastelands, this zone is level 6, as in that's like as far as you can get along your path of progression realistically. You guys leveled inside the labyrinth, which is technically outside of the wastelands, but while you're in the wastelands, you don't gather XP. Okay, you actually kind of feel weak while you're in here because there's just not like enough energy, there's not enough ambient mana to sustain you. So it's uncomfortable to be here. What else? Oh, you all have portal stones that were given to you by Zul, which I should probably bring up because he requested aid from you. And you also, this is aside from people who want you to do stuff inside the wastelands. Lord Cognar also wants you to return home with him to the Empire, which you were considering doing by either taking ship or going north through the hills. Anyway, those were sort of options of how you could leave the wastelands. Harder to go through the hills than to take your ship. But Cognar does believe that you could make it through the hills if you so chose. Yeah, does anybody, while we're waiting for Kridi to return /Oz, does anybody have anything else that they want me to talk about to remember anything? It's sort of been a while, even though we had a session, not too long ago.
No,
just
I
in
think that's
case.
okay. Whilst we're just waiting, I'm just playing with my macros.
Ooh.
Or a macro in particular, and it's not working, so I'm just going to work out why it's not working. But that's pretty much it, I think. I got my fancy new upgraded daddy spear.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Cool. You're all on your paths to greatness. You know, these incredibly powerful figures from beyond the stars have sort of sent you messages that they want you to join them in some kind of great battle against chaos.
I am kind of concerned, though, with the 2 party members that are present other than myself. They seem to be wanting to join a death metal band.
Well, Afanen hasn't made a deal with Whisper yet, but anytime Afanen wants to, Whisper's ready.
Afanen is too much of a poser to make a deal with Whisper. Like he looks like he should, but he would crumble, you know?
That's going to be a question mark. That's why that did not work. Let me try that again.
Look, Rukka's just living their best life, okay?
Did that work?
Yeah, Rukka's just.
That did not.
There's nothing emo about Rukka.
That's right. He's
just having fun.
Boy band metal.
It would have been great if we'd thought of like a boy band name for the party for when we, you know, like instead of like the Northern Warriors, we could have been like, you know, I don't know. I can't think of a pun right now, but we could have been a pun, you know.
Ice cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
It's not asking me for a modifier. But it is rolling.
Rukka
Could have been like the Ice Girls.
Ice Girls. Mm-hmm.
Well, there's 2 girls, 2 boys, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean that makes you more like ABBA, right?
Well, there you go, ABBA. It's done.
No.
It'd be.
We could just be called Åvna.
No, well, because it's got to be.
Hello.
What is it? AKAR. Or what can we make with that?
Accra?
It can be Kara. Kara. That would work.
Ark.
Or
Ah.
or Rukka. Anyway.
I think we should
Whatever.
I think instead of going to the Needles, we should start this band. That's
What did I miss?
I think the performance rolls would be so bad. Like you're talking about it, and I think Åvna probably makes like a performance check to prove to you just how bad an idea it is.
There you
Because I
go.
think the last time Åvna did a performance check, it was negative. That is, oh no, that's because the only reason that that's a 3 is because like
Arthur.
Arthur is like, you know, who's actually proficient in performance as a side note, is like really helping out there.
The last time I had to make a performance check, I rolled double 1. So it was like
Nice.
-2, -2.
Even Rukka fails the performance check for that.
13's is pass. That's like you're like a regular person, a regular proficient person.
Yeah,
That's
so
just like-
Rukka fails for Rukka's standards.
Oh, absolutely. You start playing like the Wonderwall equivalents, and you know everybody's sort of like, oh, one of those. It's like a fail to musicians, but not to other people.
we made an ABBA equivalent out of our names.
Yeah,
Oh.
you would be a terrible band. 1, 4, 11, 13. Oof, it's not good. The cacophony just drowns out anything Rukka can do. There's no carrying this group. Performance.
Alright, did we start anything or we?
We were just doing a
And,
recap.
yeah.
Yeah, no. Aaron's just decided that we're now Milli Vanilli instead of ABBA.
What did I do then?
Yes. No, we really can sync. We don't have to lip sync constantly. So yeah, so where we left off was you were about to leave the city. So as long as you're all done, you will be leaving Dragon Teeth now.
Mhm.
And as you leave, a little girl will run up to you and just hold out this adorable doll towards you guys.
Who is she closest to? Or I guess like what order are we leaving in? I guess would be the other question. That's a lot of text there, Grail.
Yeah, it was a macro that didn't work, so I just got to work out what's going on.
I'm sure that won't take you long. You only got to look through what, like 20 different brackets.
It won't take too long.
That's a great question, actually. Can I find out who she's giving that to? Because... if I mute this... Where's this? Whoa! Oh, that's 21. That's why. Going. Oh, I see. I can probably find out exactly who she will run up to.
D4?
No, it's session 7 relevant. I should be able to find out exactly who she goes to. What? It's going to be Afanen. Afanen is who she is going to rush up to present this doll.
What does it like is she's like giving it to me, right?
Yeah, she's like holding it out to you. She's sort of presenting it to you. You can see actually make me an insight check. Don't roll a 1. An 11. It seems like she wants you to take it.
Okay, I will take it, and I will give her one of the rings that I made with the Northern Warrior like symbol on it.
Sure. Can you just make me a charisma saving throw?
Yes.
Okay, so she beams up at you as she takes the ring, and she says, "Sally will keep you safe. Come back with my dad." And she just sort of steps back and, waves to the caravan.
Wave back at her.
All right.
And I put the doll like in my pocket or something.
Sure.
What have you done
You
with
have
the real Afanen? You wouldn't
You
talk
have
to
the
anybody
doll
normally.
Susan.
I didn't talk to her. I just gave her something. That's very Afanen.
You would have run and hide, wouldn't you?
That's true. He's gaining confidence. He
Now
gave
able to talk to small children.
He
My
gave her
God,
the
the
ring.
power!
He gave her the ring while she was awake.
Progress.
It's time. It's Afanen's time for character growth.
You hear a whisper in the back of your mind. Now think how great we to get. All right, so everybody just heads out of town. There's like a whole bunch of people. There's a bit of parade going on. A fair amount of the city has turned out. Everybody can make me a perception check.
Pretty good perception checks.
You are
We're actually
all
on the ball.
very good at perception. You notice that there's like a lot of people like everybody's watching, sort of everybody, sort of thing.
Do you have a plus 10 to perception, Grail?
Pardon?
Do you have a plus 10 to perception?
That's what it says.
Mm-hmm. Because somebody took alertness.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do about it? It fits the character.
Yeah, signs and portents.
Mhm.
So, you notice that there's like different groups of people sort of really focusing in on certain other people. So Rukka, like everybody notices this because you all passed the check. So there's like all these groups sort of focusing in on people. Afanen and Åvna notice. Well, actually, to be fair, Afanen and Åvna notice the same sort of thing, but with the help of Arthur, and just because Afanen is like one with the shadows, you're able to notice that there's actually like a group of sort of robed and hooded up figures that are really paying attention to like the exiles, just sort of that are very focused in on like Jiro and Gunbrack. And with like the help of Arthur, or just because Afanen, you know, notices, you recognize one of the robed figures as oh, actually, did you get his name last time? As some guy that you previously got into a fight with, and they like used a gate stone to get away from you, outside the labyrinth when you like you had like a fight going into the labyrinth. There was like a group of dudes who attacked their exile merchant.
Was that when
that
the
you were
storm
with?
was coming?
Yes, that was when the storm was coming. So I don't know if you got his name then.
Jerkface.
But yeah, it's this guy. You believe he's a member of the Rooks. And they like turned up sort of men without their like clan signs or anything like that, and sort of ambushed was it Torg the Younger who was with you? Torg the Younger? It's gotta be, right? For sure. Who else would it be? Yeah, so Torg the Younger was with you, yep. And you kept Torg alive.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And he owes us what you would call a life debt.
Well, at least according to you guys.
He thinks he owes us a cookie.
He thinks you might be good for saving his life a bit more.
He obviously hasn't seen us in other situations.
Alright, so we spy this guy. He's with the other robed figures and they're watching the exiles.
Yeah, that's right. You recognize him as like a dude who like used a portal stone.
Okay.
When you got in like a fight with him. Portal stones are like incredibly expensive items for the wasteland, as a side note.
I'm gonna turn around and see if any of the rest of the group notice him. And assuming that they do or do not, doesn't really matter, I'm going to tap Rukka on the shoulder and then point at that guy. Hey, check that out. See him?
Yeah.
You don't recognize him. He just looks like a robed figure to you.
We had a fight with him before.
Oh. Okay. I assume we won.
He ran away.
Yeah, of course he did.
Do you want to go and ask him where he went to and why he attacked us?
Yeah, I can do that.
Make
Is
a
it a good idea?
deception
You
check.
normally
Åvna.
don't like me doing these things.
Åvna, make a deception check for me.
No. I will roll one, but I will not make
Yeah.
one.
You roll one. You do not get aided by Arthur. If anything, he would be a hindrance here. Oh wow, 12. That's not terrible. Let me just see if that person noticed.
I'm not trying to be particularly covert
Oh, I
about
know.
it.
You're not. Although, there's just a lot going
Mm-hmm.
on. There's like a crowd. They're not focused on you. So, but I was wondering just how much you're sort of shouting this out and stuff. Yep. Okay. They don't notice you talking about it just in that much.
He was
Hubbub.
he was in the group that attacked us before we entered the labyrinth.
Ah. He wanted to get talk.
Mhm.
Are you sure going and talking to him is a good idea? You normally don't like me going and talking to people.
But it lets them know that we know that they know that we're watching them.
Have you guys like stopped, or are you still moving with the procession?
Moving, I guess.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I can see how him knowing that we know that he knows that we know that he knows that we know that he's here is a good idea. Rukka will head over towards him.
Okay. So you break away from the group and start heading into the crowd. Sure. Make me a. Are you doing it Rukka style?
Oh yeah, he's waving and trying to get his attention. And...
Yeah. Give me a performance check. I should roll perception.
For a +8, that's a.
Wow. Okay, so he's like so focused in on like Lord Jiro that he actually just completely doesn't notice you as you like rock up next to him. I guess you're also sort of drowned out by the crowd and stuff. So you just sort of appear next to him, and he's like, "Ah, yeah." He puts a hand like up to cover his face with the hood.
Hey, how you going? We didn't get introduced
a mighty
before.
northern warrior. Wow, what an honor.
Yeah. My friends and I were just wondering when we fought, like however long ago that was. Where did you guys run off to?
You see, he straightens up, and he says, "I took my master back home to be healed. Back to our clan hold."
Ah, okay. So you just went home to lick your wounds and sulk for a little bit.
Well, of course. I mean, we would never have picked a fight with you if we had have known your greatness. I am sorry that we caused you offense. Please, if there's anything that I can do, so that you don't take it out on the rest of our clan.
Well, look, we don't hold any grudges. You know, if you're cool, we're cool.
All right. Can you do a persuasion check, please?
Oh.
Okay. He will take you at your word, and he says, "Oh no, no ill will on the Northern Warriors. Thank you, my lord, for your mercy."
No. It's just being chill. You know, it's not mercy. So you know, as long as we have this understanding, and you know, if you turn up, then I kind of expect your help in defeating the people that we're going off to defeat.
The blood knives are a scourge to all of the wastelands, and I wish you everything in defeating them. Though I hope, and he looks sort of sideways at you, but because of that persuasion check, he's just going to be honest, and he says, I hope the Lord Giro falls in battle.
Really? That's harsh, dude.
He has
What-
brought great suffering to my house,
Has he?
my clan.
That's not cool. Do you want me to talk to him about it?
No, please don't. Look, I'm really, I have to go places. Would you like, do you need anything that I have? I don't have a lot. I have like some, spirit coins.
No. You keep them. If your clan's been suffering a lot, you'll obviously need them.
We're not poor. I just mean he's been killing a bunch of us. But thanks.
Yeah, no worries, dude. I'll hold out his knuckles.
He bows to your knuckles, touches his head to them, in like a sort of contrite, showing his belly to you, and backs away, and then turns around and sort of hurries off.
Well, I guess Rukka's going to jog back to the caravan and tell Åvna that they're all sweet now.
Excellent. Thank you. Good work.
That's right. He offered me some coins, but I thought, we didn't really need them.
No, we don't need them.
He did call me Lord too. That felt kind of cool.
Cool.
I could get used to that.
Maybe
Lord Rukka.
you could get yourself a new cape, perhaps. One that highlights your lordness. Your lofty heights. But no, thank you.
Sorry, maybe a new hat. A really tall one. With a bell.
A bell. Perhaps you could have a train of people following behind you, or maybe in front of you casting petals for you to walk upon.
That's not a bad idea. We should look into that once we kill these blood knives.
Indeed.
Okay, so after about half an hour, the crowd that sort of gathered around the gate has gone back into the city. The city's, in the distance, and you're rolling onward into the wasteland. Although, sort of the first 10 miles of your journey is through the farmland some little amount of farmland that exists in the wastes around Dragon's Teeth. And you see spirit warriors who seem to have a knack for nature, sort of tilling the land and growing crops. They're using sort of light magic to lessen the harshness of the sun. Anyway, after a day, you're now truly in the desert. Nothing in the wastelands even considers attacking you in such a big and mighty caravan. So unless you, and in fact, it definitely runs off at the sound and presence of your approach. So you don't even really see any monsters. All you have to deal with is like the sort of weakening and just the general toxicity of like the mana in the wastelands. And so it reaches nightfall. You guys are fine. Day one. Yep.
Do you have a pic of Baron Giro, by the way?
Yeah. Does Baron Giro have a picture?
There is
on
a
him?
handout, but it just says the head of the exiles.
Okay. Well, let me.
And it was Forge Mistress Tanit, was it?
Tanit. That makes sense.
I was looking at the handouts that are there available.
Yeah, that'll be her then. Yeah. Forge Mistress Tanit. Jiro. I know he exists. He's just in wherever my silver spears are. No. Oh, that's him there. But where's? Oh, there he is. I can put a token down for you. That's what his token looks like.
Cool.
Nice.
And as I've said before, their like gold sign is that they have sort of silver hair, which looks pretty hard.
Cool.
Hard silver hair. Bing.
As we kind of settle down and stuff, and we're away from other people, I'll let them know as well that the guy said that Jiro was a dick to all of his people and was killing lots of them, which is why he was out there. So we might want to be careful of Jiro.
It is my understanding. We should be careful of everybody. Don't all the houses pretty much detest all the houses? There is, at times, open warfare between them all. We've come across that previously. And the exiles, do they not rule this area pretty much through fear and intimidation?
Yeah, but Jiro's also been talking to those weird people. He's been shifty recently.
I mean, we've only like interacted with him recently. Like up until we came back from our little expedition out of the labyrinth, we'd never seen or spoken to him.
My concern, though, is that you are only now saying that we need to be wary. We should be wary all the time. Trust nobody here.
Except for my blonde friend. He's been really cool to us.
When you say that, Cognar just sort of jumps down from like one of the caravans that's nearby. Poof, and he says, "Thanks, my friend." He smiles broadly. You notice that like during the day, Lord Cognar just like was running around the caravan, helping out like every exile that possibly had like the littlest problem. He was constantly like being really cheerful and amiable to them, much to like their chagrin. They were very it was obviously very upsetting to like all of them. And he just was like, "Oh, let me help you with this." Oh, he's like, anytime somebody, almost got hit by something, he's like saving them. Yeah.
I'm very surprised I haven't seen it before because that is excellent. I hope there was something soft that he landed on.
I'm sure there was.
Okay. But yes, no, I agree with Åvna. The only people I trust are you three, considering I know that we've been through a lot together, firstly, and that also our goals are very much aligned.
Indeed. Everyone here has an agenda that does not align necessarily with ours or anyone else's. They all vie for power.
Well, Lord Cognar says.
Oh, I'm not saying when he's right there. I'm waiting till he walks
Oh,
off.
Okay. Wait till he fucks off again.
Okay, sure.
we all stare at him
Actually,
until he leaves.
let me rephrase that. Åvna with her charisma 5 probably says it
Oh.
right in front of him.
if you stare at him, he kind of preens a bit. Gets like he shows you like more of his good side, and then he just
Nice.
swaps sides because he has no bad
We
side.
can have bad side, yeah, exactly.
Anyway, Fabio meanders off eventually to go be fabulous somewhere else.
Go appear on another Mills and Boons
That's right. He must be on more covers. That's what you could have been, a famous cover band. Anyway, yeah, sure.
Still, I think I don't predict anything too bad happening to us while we're on this particular mission. It seems like the sand spiders can be trusted as much as we can trust anyone, as we have helped them before and worked with them before, and they seem to be really keen to kill some blood knives. The forces that we've been sent from the exiles, like what actually on that note, what's coming with us from the exile in terms of their like contribution?
So there's like a squad of 20 like well, I guess you sort of know their level, right? Because you can sort of sense people's power. So there's like 20 level 4 spirit warriors effectively. Then there's Lord Jiro.
Oh, Lord Jiro is coming with us personally.
Yeah. he
Yeah,
is.
Lord Jiro is coming with you. He's bringing like the might of his clan.
Yeah,
So
fair.
Lord Jiro is there. Peter's there. Who's just a level 4 as a side note. It's just that you've renamed him, so he's decided to bring him. And
that poor person.
and
damn it, Rukka.
and Grunbeck is there, who is like another. They're all like basically everybody's level 4 except for Lord Jiro, who's level 6. So you can sort of sense that as well. But you remember Grunbeck because he's the champion of like the clan. Wait. Yeah, and there's like, there's some other guy that like is constantly hanging around Jiro, but you don't know who that is. But he seems to be like an officer. He's also level 4, but yeah.
So that's a fairly powerful force then.
Yeah, 23 level 4s and level 6 is like who they've contributed. Meanwhile, the sand spiders are like, the sand spider has come with you, who's a level 6. Henry and what's his name? Where are my sand spiders?
Jack?
Henry and Jack, yeah, have come with you, and Henry has like advanced to be level 4, but Jack is still like a level 3 noob. And the Forge Mistress Tenet is also like with you, carting like a giant workshop on the back of one of these massive sort of bug type creatures that seem to be made out of it's like a Frankensteinian horror that she's like stitched together that has like a warehouse on the back of it. It's got too many legs. Yeah, it would be. It's more than a centipede, but less than a millipede. Frankensteinian horror.
That leaves
Okay.
that leaves a lot of numbers in between.
Yeah.
An in-between-a-pede.
Yeah, it's a many-pede. It's a horror-pede. That's what it is.
A pede.
Yeah.
And then I guess do we have like a supply train type thing, or at least?
Oh yeah, then there's like heaps of servants and stuff. Absolutely, there's a huge support staff.
Yeah,
But
cool.
military might-wise, like
that's what we've got.
you almost wouldn't even count like Jack. Jack's like the standard of the. Jack is like a regular clansman sort of thing. Level 4 is like an elite clansman, so it's like the elite, like they've brought like their elite clan. Amir's just there because he like wants to help you, like he would like to facilitate like the rescuing of people in the mines.
Yep.
He doesn't really as much as he would love to like kill the blood knives, he specifically said, you know, you guys can do that and you can get all the honor and stuff. He doesn't care about the glory. He just is like, yes, I will. Henry and Jack will just do whatever you want. They're just like, they just owe you everything. So they're like, whatever. They're ride or die. Okay, so
Yep.
especially Henry, who's just like, you know, I'll go wherever you want me to go, sort of thing. And like Jiro's there for like the honor, the glory.
Oh yeah, obviously he doesn't. Yeah, no, I can understand. He doesn't want to be left out of this big thing. He wants to claim he is part of it, because otherwise it'd be very.
Yeah, exactly. He's just very. He seems very traditional and sort of a bit withdrawn around you guys. He's very wary.
I mean, he technically is the most powerful person in the desert, so.
No, the most powerful person in the
yeah.
desert is Lord Cognar
Okay,
at the moment. But he stands alone.
I more meant in terms of like actual
Political power?
ruling and power.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, totally.
Like,
But-
yes,
For sure.
ourselves and Cognar could probably beat him up, but like he would also
Mhm.
have his entire clan and everything else happening.
Look, Lord Jiro
Yeah.
is also a bit wary because his dad also made him fall backwards and didn't catch him.
Cool,
Well,
awesome. No worries,
once their clan was a great clan of the Empire, and it is no longer.
if
And
we-
something else that you probably should also remember is that the Blood Hall was like traveling to
yes.
the pits, and they have like a sage and a herald. So
Yes, we wanted to try and get to it and finish this off before that arrives.
yep, absolutely.
So if we are alone again, I will mention to, I guess, Rukka and everybody here, if that's like, I know you've been speaking about like, you know, how suspicious, like, you know, Jiro's been acting and all that type of stuff, and like, it has been on my mind that possibly there has been some kind of agreement between maybe him, maybe the exiles and the Blood Knives. Like they're two very big powers here, but it looks like they've been mostly untouched by each other. If that makes sense.
So maybe he's going to double cross us.
I wouldn't go that far, because it'd be difficult to do depending on how much of it. Because I don't know how much this would be. Again, this is speculation. I'm not sure.
If he kills everyone and he's the only survivor,
Yes, but
he can tell whatever story he wants.
absolutely, I think that would be difficult, especially with Cognar here though. So, but
think
I'm
that
just saying,
makes sense.
I'm just saying possibly that would be something to factor in. I don't think it's going to be a full-on, you know, go over to the Blood Knives betrayal, because that seems. Again, I'm not sure. Again, how many of those elite soldiers would be in on it is the thing. I don't think this would be something that would be known to too many people if it was happening. And again, I have no proof of this. I have nothing to go on. It's literally just because you've mentioned him being a bit, you know.
It's all right.
It doesn't even have to be an agreement. Great powers rarely come to blows, because in doing so, generally both great powers become lesser. It just has to be an unwritten understanding. Jiro would rarely go against the Blood Knives, or would seek not to go against the Blood Knives for fear of weakening his own position. The Blood Knives would not seek out the exiles because they are the dominant power politically. It doesn't have to be the two of them in cahoots. They only merely need to understand each other's power base. For them to remain in power, there needs to be a status quo where they do not come into conflict. But things are moving now. Jiro has no choice.
Yeah.
Okay, do you guys want to do anything this first night?
I would
Oh.
like to give my teammates their rings.
Do you have enough rings now that you've given one away?
Yeah, I gave the little girl the one that I was wearing.
All right, sure.
The One Ring.
I hold on. I gotta take a picture. I drew it last session, so
Nice.
you guys know what you're getting. It's very silly, but it's so we feel like a team.
Team. I even love saying the word team.
And everybody's the heart. Go Northern Warriors.
Exactly.
Need to figure out what spells I remember what I can do. I guess is the more important thing. Remember what spells I'm preparing. Did everybody remember what cool thing we got made? You people got made last session.
Yeah, rings.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I gave the little girl the one that was like the best. The rest of them are just okay.
Oh, okay. You gave her the
A
heirloom.
pretty nice one. Yeah.
Oh.
And then the rest are just good/fine, according to my notes.
Nice. Okay.
I mean, the Cloak of Elventine and the Adamantine breastplate.
I feel like you maybe a little over the a little over the power level, but not quite ready to dominate literally everybody in the entire world.
Oh, I like it.
Cool.
Cool little.
Do
rune.
those runes mean anything, or just look cool?
It's NWs, Northern Warriors.
Yes. Nice. Nice.
That makes sense.
But
Yes.
runic. That's good. That's even better. That's good.
Very awesome.
All right.
That's really cool. So you're giving those out to all of us. Like, what are you saying to us as you do it? Like, what's the speech?
This is Afanen, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. This is why I want to know.
You're awake. Be thankful.
Wait.
No, I think Afanen's just kind of like gives each of you one, and then like does like a thumbs up and is like, "Go Northern Warriors."
Deal. Give me back that. Give me back my D10.
What? Let it go.
Thank you.
Anyway, they don't do anything. They just look like that.
That's cool. That's like honestly, Kridi is very excited about this. Probably maybe a little bit too much, but she
Yes!
loves she loves the idea of this. It's like, oh, that's honestly really cool, and you managed to do it without being creepy this time. Awesome work.
Character growth.
There you go. Afanen.
People like my gift. Huh?
What are the
I've
rest of
dealt
the
you
parties
inspiration.
feeling?
I get inspiration.
Yeah,
Yep.
because that's cool. That's exactly what inspiration's there for, to reward
That's
cool shit.
all.
And you got a big
Yeah.
big
What do
inspiration.
Rukka and Åvna think of this?
Yeah, it's fine. Looks good. If you turn it upside down, it says MN.
What?
Is that how runes work? And you just flip them upside down and it'll be fine.
Maybe some of them.
Pretty sure that's for Mega Nerd.
Could be.
Nerd.
No, that's awesome. Thanks,
you.
Afanen.
Thanks.
And Rookie's going to give Afanen a big hug.
Oh no. It's very awkward. Afanen does not know what to do. But appreciates it.
Rook is going to go, I'm going to have to show Krognar. He's going to appreciate it. We should make like a Northern Warriors like fan club ones, and we could give him a fan club one.
Yeah, that's kind of what I gave to the little girl. But I'll have to make myself another one.
Is that a cat that's purring?
Oh yeah, sorry, he's sitting right on the
It's all
Okay.
good.
As long as I know I'm not going insane. But what I think is really quite funny is at the end of last session, Rukka was starting to doubt his trust in Cognar, and what a difference a couple of weeks make, because now he's back straight into it again.
Yeah, but that's because now the other guy that we're now cool with has pointed out that the other guy's now dodgy.
They're all dodgy, but
They can't
Didn't-
all. We have to have friends.
you really need to go and rewatch the end of the last vid so you can just see how you had started to really doubt the veracity of Cognar's trust levels. And because now you're worshipping at his altar once more. It's quite funny.
Look, Rook is fickle.
Oh, yeah, really? Righty. What should I call this ring on my character sheet?
Northern Warriors ring.
Just North NW ring.
If we touch them together, can we get powers like the Wonder Twins?
Oh, I don't know.
If only. If
Yeah.
only. Do I have a ring currently? No, I don't. Cool. How heavy is a ring? Probably not that heavy.
No, it's a couple grams.
If there was an O, then we'd be these guys.
I'm so glad you'll like my rings.
Oh, they're really cool.
Excellent. I like this one a lot.
And like, I assume you haven't, and you like, and knowing you actually made it well, as opposed to you just throwing together as something.
Yeah, look, they're pretty good, I think is the, or good / fine. Yeah, they're not nice like the one that I gave to the little girl, but you know, I'll make better ones. We'll upgrade. See, worth me not coming to that meeting that you guys wanted me to go to.
I don't think it would have made any difference. Whatever we could have been told did not occur.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is everybody now done for the night, or?
Yes. Well,
All
I
right. Yep.
Did I? Hold on. I think I did want to do something, or maybe not. Just double check.
I wonder if you can wear it on your hand and punch somebody and give them like the Phantom's mark.
I mean, you can try, but they don't do anything.
No. It's just like, you're probably too young to remember the Phantom anyway, the Ghost Who Walks.
Yeah, I don't know.
Comic strip character and a comic book character.
Oh, you know what? I never read them, but an uncle of mine did.
Okay, one of his shticks was he had a big skull ring, and when he punched people in the forehead, he left a mark of the ghost ring mark on their forehead, so they got the mark of the Phantom.
That's how they'll know that the Northern Warriors have been here.
Yep.
Before, I guess, but as we're settling down in, and just if just I'm away, I would like to cast divination.
About what? Link divination?
Yes. Do I just click on the thing?
Divination.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure who I'm contacting. I'd guess it would be my mentor in this case.
Indeed, it would be the spirit. Well, not the spirit, but the embodiment of
My path.
peace, mercy, aid, help, renewal, regrowth. Okay. So you contact the Phoenix, which is the other name for your teacher or the path that you're walking down. And yeah, you can sacrifice anything. 25 gold is fine. But contact. ask a single question. Okay, so you appear inside this like massive garden. As far as you can see, there's just rows of like different plants. The area that you're in is like a very well like manicured or tended garden. It's not wild or anything like that. This is obviously a functional but ordered plantation. And around you are sort of all these blue-white armored figures sort of moving amongst the plant beds. And in front of you is this four-armed person. Looks a little bit spidery. Who just sort of looks at you. One eyebrow raised.
Yes. So I guess my question that I want to ask is regarding the obviously what we're doing. So I guess it will be like
just do it in character. What is the single question that you asked?
That's what I'm trying to just think how to phrase it so it's not terrible. It'll be basically like in regards to our expedition to destroy the blood knives and rid this land of them. Will this be positive for what's the name of the city? Sorry, Dragon's Teeth?
Yeah, Dragon's Teeth.
Yeah. Will this be positive for Dragon's Teeth and the area around it? And sorry, Dragon's Teeth and its people probably would be the way I'd phrase it.
I cannot see everything that occurs inside your world because of a pact that was signed long ago. However, ridding the wastelands of the blood knives may help alleviate some of the horror that occurs in the wastelands and to the people of Dragon's Teeth. However, some crucibles are there to rise people up. Denying them another challenge may not be to their benefit in the long run. There are different problems in the world that are more worthy of your attention. But in the end, the blood knives are like a cancer on the planet, and if you were to get rid of them, that would be to the good. Any who follow my path seek to alleviate suffering and to heal. And yes, if you are successful, it would benefit the people of Dragon's Teeth.
Cool. That's an excellent answer, in fact.
Well, the Phoenix is particularly helpful because he is pretty nice.
Awesome.
Anyway, and as they finish their answer, the garden fades from you. You feel like the calmness and the serenity of the garden leave you, and you are returned sort of to your body, and the toxicity and hollowness of the wasteland. A sort of hollowness that you are used to. As a side note, this is sort of the feeling that you used to have living between the Five Peaks. So
yeah, in the wastelands, it's not a place encouraging life.
Yeah.
Or there's not enough life around us to really get a
Mhm.
Cool. Excellent. That's good. Kridi will not share that with anyone. That was more for her own, or herself, I guess, rather than anything particularly.
Okay. You just like set up like this little shrine, do the ceremony, come out. You're like, nice.
Look. If there was some major bad omen or something, then I'd probably talk about it. But it seems like what we were doing is the right thing or a good thing, which is exactly what Kridi is all about. You know, like this seems like it will be good for the wastelands, good for the Dragon Seeds. Yeah, sure. I mean, I know about the whole. You know, I'll know there's no adversary, but like, I'm sure there'll be ways. I'm sure they'll be fine. Cool.
Comes out
All
as a
right.
little
That's
communion,
that.
and all three of us are just staring at Kridi.
I'm trying to sleep.
You're like, really? Incense inside the tent? Come on.
This wouldn't be like right next to people. I probably would have gone a little bit away.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I would have just done it right in the middle of the camp with everybody watching me.
there's
it
like a
turns
lot
out.
of guards around and stuff. If you do try to leave the camp, some people are gonna like follow you, sort of. If you're,
I'm not
unless
gonna
you're
leave.
like stealth away.
I probably wouldn't like leave the camp entirely. I'd just like find somewhere that is out of the way, I guess.
Okay.
There might be
Sure.
some people close to me, and they'll probably be able to observe. But I'm not like trying to hide it particularly well. If people want to ask me about it, that's absolutely fine. But I'm just not gonna volunteer the information, basically.
Okay. So does anybody like follow Kridi as they like meander off at sort of camp time?
Nope.
Or nope. Okay, cool. So you're basically left alone. Nobody wants to upset you because you are like incredibly powerful. So when you do like come out of your trance, the only person is like Cogna, who's sitting across from you, just smiling. As like,
I'll say, did you? I'll say, did you need to talk? Did you need to see me?
oh no, that was just very illuminating. Anyway, I also have things to do tonight. Good rest. And he like jumps off whatever's next to him, a box or something, and dashes off
Hair flowing in the wind.
Of course.
into the desert and just sort of disappears in some like swirling dust. He's really fast. Like, dang. Got some speed. Monks, am I right? Huh?
Cool. Awesome.
Okay. In the morning, you guys get up. The caravan sort of bustles to life, and sort of as you're all mounting up, you notice that there's like a little bit of panic going on in the camp. There's like something happening. There's like some exiles like riding up and down the caravan. And sort of after about 15 minutes, things get back in order, and you start to move off.
When you say panic, is just like it's not like, oh, we're under attack panic. It's more like just, oh, we've got to get up and do things.
Oh, well, you're not really sure, unless you'd like to make an insight check.
Yes,
Rukka's
absolutely.
Ask some questions.
Sure, tell me what you're doing and give me the check for it.
Oh, rip.
Rukka's going to
This Åvna is noticing something.
trying to get the attention of one of the guys that's running backwards and forwards
Cogna probably hasn't come back after he did his
along
little
the, along the sides and try and wave them down to just say what's going on.
Yeah, so Åvna, you notice that they seem to be looking for someone, and you're like, it's probably Cogna. So Rukka calls like one of them over and is like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, oh, a person went missing from the caravan maybe last night, and nobody knows where they are. We're just, We want to be sure that they're safe. Åvna, they are lying. They do not want to know if that person is safe. But they are looking for them. That
Is it
bit was true.
Cogna?
It is Cogna.
Mhm.
You pick it up just the way like they don't want to say the person's name. They're just sort of like
yeah, they'll
glancing off. You also notice in the we want them to be, and then it's like this little micro pause.
Safe.
One of them goes, "Dead." That one, almost super safe. Safe.
Look, no one else would have noticed, okay? Your insight is insanely high, okay?
Do you want us
Anyway.
to go look for them while...
No. We've got places to be. Whatever. They'll probably turn up.
Okay, should we tell you if we see them?
You
It's
would
pretty tricky to see.
You would do that? I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, it'll probably be relevant when we're closer. You know, at the moment, it's like whatever. And if they choose to go off and do something else. But
Yeah,
yes, if you see them, we would love to know.
Who are we to stop them? You know.
Anyway, so unless you want to question these guys some more or anything like that, you head out.
I don't think they're going to be accomplices. I feel somehow.
That does seem weird, guys, though, that they're searching frantically but don't care if they find him. That doesn't add up.
Well,
I'm pretty
why
sure
not?
it's because they just want to. Maybe they think if they can see him, it's going to be easier to predict what he's going to do.
Remember that conversation, mini though it was, that we had about trust. They don't trust him. The fact that he has gone missing heightens their distrust of him, which is why they are searching for him, because they want to know where he is, so that they know what they are distrustful of.
Anyway, today, as you're traveling, Jiro is going to sort of fall back in the column, to sort of just ride, alongside you, not close enough to be like a member of your group or anything, but just like a little bit away. If you want to make an insight check, you can on his behavior. It's kind of impossible not to, so everybody should make an insight check. Because he's sort of casting a few sidelong glances at you.
Wow,
23.
He's being very obvious, apparently.
Yeah.
Also, do we have
It's
Oh,
Kaylee.
Fun?
I was just making a cup of tea, so I was muted.
Oh yeah, no worries.
The cat was in control.
Yeah.
Okay. So
The cat's always in control.
So Åvna, Kridi, and Rukka, he obviously wants to talk like sort of power, politics. He's looking to like make gains from you, find out like what your plan is, what your tie is to Cogna. He's making the come over and talk to me because I need to know about you, and more importantly, Cogna. To Afanen, he's sort of he's making like some we could be friends, right? You want a friend like me, right? We'd be pretty cool
Nobody wants
together.
a friend like Afanen, though. That's so suspicious.
Well, that's you're like, I think he wants to be friends. Maybe with the other three, maybe not with you, but he seems to be wanting to make friends with your group. But yeah, you are the other three. He's not particularly interested in making friends, but he's not against it. But he's more interested in finding out about Cogna. And he's sort of he's just sort of, I
guess I will
it'd be cool if they talked to me.
Whisper to Rukka and Åvna and say do one of you want to go talk to him, or
I'll wave him over.
Oh, okay. He smiles broadly and comes over. The three of you so Åvna, Kridi, and Rukka, that smile is fake. Afanen, he is very happy to have been invited over. He is looking forward to this friendship.
Man, my friends always make the best friends.
That's what Charisma 5 will do.
He says, the Northern Warriors, it's great for us to travel together. True heroes of this land. We shall get rid of those blood knives. I don't suppose you know when Lord Cognar is joining back up with us again.
I only noticed him having left this morning. But he is more Rukka's friend than the rest of us, I say, looking at Rukka with a smile on my face.
Oh, you are not friends?
Oh, I said he's more
With-
of Rukka's friend. So he
Ah.
has ingratiated his way into our group, in a manner of speaking, and Rukka, I'll pat on the back, is as close a friend as he would have, I'm sure.
They thought he was imaginary.
It is true.
They thought he was imaginary. If
Although it's more that we thought that Rukka's imagination had wandered more than Cognar himself being imaginary. The young caribou here takes after his spirit animal, very much so.
I don't want to ask you too much because I know you protect
Oh, then
your
don't.
masters and whatever your clan affiliation is, and I don't want you to get in trouble. But are you do you perhaps hail from the same land as Cognar?
I doubt it.
Doubt it. Okay. So
We're
we
from the
were.
north.
I was gonna say we're fairly confident that we didn't have anyone near that powerful as what we experienced in the northern wastes. Yeah.
We come from a land of snow and cold and bleak and mountains. Not from where. No one loved Cognar. No, he is too sun-dipped.
when you say you come from a land of frozen and blah, you see like recognition in his eyes. 3 of you do. Afanen doesn't.
Afanen's muttering under his breath, like, yeah, like we're from the north. That's why we call the Northern Warriors. God.
and you now believe that he believes he knows where you're from. He's like, oh, okay. Like, indeed. Do any of you wield swords?
Rukka does.
Yeah,
Rukka uses a sword.
You have a GN, don't you?
I have a flying rapier.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you see like his eyes like focus in on your blade and he like nods.
Rukka's
Or
gonna
you three notice that and he like nods and he's like
Rukka's gonna make it float out of its scabbard and just like fly in front of him for a bit.
Where did you find that sword again?
Are you asking that?
This is out of character. I'm sure I would remember. I've just
It was
forgotten.
really early on when
was.
we
It was
like
underneath
got
the
trapped
mountain.
underneath the mountain.
Yeah, so it was in the northern, like in the peaks. It wasn't after that. Yep, cool.
It was more like a GN, wasn't it? You.
It was a Jan.
Yeah.
But it uses the stats of a rapier.
Yeah. So it's
a
GN's
scholar's sword, actually. It was a scholar's sword.
Okay.
A what? Sorry,
A GN. Have you seen Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
No.
The what? Oh. Well, my estimation of you has decreased immeasurably.
It's a Chinese arming sword.
Basically, yes. A very thin, flexible blade.
Well, the Scholar's Sword is the most flexible version of it, which is what this one is. So that's like,
Yep.
yeah, the Jian's pretty.
Oh, okay.
It is flexible compared to like a regular arming sword, but it's still like very rigid compared to a Scholar's Sword, which is like. Anyway, whatever. Nopsy, yeah, that is very much what it looks like. Yep.
I'd
that's
hope so, because that's what you put in the
Yeah, that's the
handout.
art. Yep.
No, I just want to double check. I know Kridi would know this. I've just forgotten because it has been a while since those first episodes, as it turns out.
Now,
Mhm.
after this, go watch Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Sure, it's a movie, I assume.
Yes.
It's a good movie.
It's very
not
good.
not a great movie.
I think
but
it's
it
very
is a
good.
movie. Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. It has some amazing fight scenes.
I assume the older version.
What do you mean the older version?
It's like
Apparently,
a 2000.
apparently there's one that was made in 2016.
No, that's not an older version. That is a sequel.
Ah, okay, cool, makes sense.
Anyway, I mean the scene with like the heavy brass weapons.
Ball
very
and
good.
chain.
No, not the ball and chain. The one where
Oh,
she's
yep.
just going through the entire weapon
Yes,
rack.
yes.
But
It's
at one stage she picks up like I can't remember what she's using, but they're basically just very heavy.
Yep.
Brass sort of. It may even be brass rods. Yeah, I think it is
that
brass rods.
That is a really good
Yeah.
fight.
It's awesome. It's so good. But anyway, we digress. That movie's great. All the fight scenes great. Okay, so yeah, he's talking to you. Okay. And he seems to know where you're from. So if you otherwise he's just gonna start moving into like political talking and trying to get you to like open up trade with Dragon's Teeth, stuff like that.
I mean, we'd be
How?
happy for it. I'd have to talk to my dad.
Your father is high up in the sect?
Well, he's my dad.
Right, of course, yes. Wait. Your father high up in the sect. He just looks really confused.
We have only
He's
just
like-
recently been considered to have come of age among our tribes. We do not speak for them, even if we are the only representatives of them here. So, political discussions would best be had by those in power who far outstrip us.
And we're
Yeah.
not even all from the same
He-
tribes.
When you say that, he like looks super sad. Okay, and then Rukka says you're not even from the same stripes. And now he's like, what the fuck's going on? He's very confused again. It's like, okay, so one of you's from okay.
I mean,
Mhm.
like, I just would we know that we're like well beyond anything in the Five Peaks?
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Level 4 is like in the Five Peaks,
Yeah.
level 4 is like as far as anybody advances. That's like what the people who are in the schools are like.
Yep.
And
Remember
like
though,
level 5 is like the it's like the it's like the goal of everybody inside the
Yep.
Five Peaks, but like nobody reaches it.
so herein is one of the weaknesses of the English language, in the fact that words can have multiple derivatives.
Mm-hmm.
He is talking power, he is talking political power. So when I said there are people who far outstrip us, that's the same vein that I was talking in. Levels are not even coming into it.
Yeah.
We're not talking raw power. He is not interested in raw power. Well, he possibly is, but more so he's talking about
possibly
things of a
he's-
political nature.
Yeah.
So therefore, there are people in
And-
that far outstrip us because we are not on the political spectrum there, at least not
No.
yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we come out, we probably will be, or we will be the political, we will be the political thing.
When you guys were in the library of the exiles, you sort of learnt more about their style of like advancement and stuff like that, which is different to what your guys' paths are. Although you think their path is like what people inside the Five Peaks follow, you guys follow like a completely different path. Like you've never heard of anybody like advancing the way you guys advance. Most people do it through like drawing in the mana of the surrounding area and then like absorbing that into your body, building channels inside your body, mana conduits and stuff like that, reinforcing the flesh, those sort of things. You guys do that as well, but you get it from all kinds of things. You don't just draw it from the atmosphere. Okay? But one of the things that you did notice in like the library is that if you're a figure who has like political power or any sort of like real power, there are like treasures that you can consume for power. So like I was saying, you know, you can use spell slots to create like spirit coins. In the same way, you can like absorb spirit coins for XP effectively. So like nobody who's actually powerful isn't high leveled outside of like the even inside the Five Peaks. Like if you have political power, you're going to be served like the spirit fruit, which does effectively the same thing. You guys have never had any of that because you were kids and stuff, but you've seen it happen. There's been like ceremonies where they eat like effectively magical fruit that's like harvested from you know, these really powerful trees that are sort of cultivated for long periods of time.
Yep.
Anyway, that sort of stuff. So generally, if you are politically powerful, you will also be powerful. It's not like a direct translation, but it
Those
is
who
by
are
Jiro like
yes,
high
but
level.
those who are powerful aren't necessarily politically powerful. Political
True.
power would
Well,
also
true.
require wisdom, cultural significance. There's a whole lot of things I'm sure that would go towards being the leader or one of the leaders, rather than just saying, well, "Look at me, I bashed that orc skull in."
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good when you're like the head of the Blood Knives.
Mm-hmm.
And also good inside the sects. There are different types of organizations.
Cool. Anyway, what's Jiro doing? Is he still cozying on up to Rukka?
He's sort of trying to work out. So, are you guys just going to be honest with him and just sort of talk about like your homeland and stuff like that?
With a grain of salt.
Well,
Okay.
As honest as
Kridi won't do too much talking just in general, but she will occasionally bump in with something that might be relevant. She
As honest
won't
as
give
Rukka
away
have-
too much, but she'll kind of follow the lead of the other two, of like Rukka and Åvna.
We have been
Depending on how much.
reasonably open since we came into this region. We haven't been too forthcoming, but what we have spoken about has been pretty much truthful. So there's no reason not to continue in that vein. Again, holding cards to the chest and not just telling them our life story and the story of our clans and the Five Peaks and all the trials and tribulations that we have, but I guess we would still be truthful to a point.
Yeah, Rukka's downplayed a lot of like our abilities. So he'll probably continue in that vein of trying to talk themselves up as just being kind of regular.
Now, contrary to what I mentioned previously about great powers not going to battle, I looked at Jiro and say, "So tell me, Lord Jiro, as the ruler of Dragon Teeth City, how come the Blood Knives have been left to garner so much power in the wastelands? Would they have not been crushed under your heel previously?"
Well, we are sort of the forgotten edge of the Empire, really. These are almost unclaimed lands. And, if anything, that would be... you see that he goes to, like, disparage another group, like, to pass the buck on, and then realizes, like, those people are, like, much more powerful than him, so he just is like, yes, I mean, if I could remove them, I would, but the Blood Knives are too much of a threat for me to take on alone. They do have the backing of, you know, the Red Hall, so...
Have you not sought to seek out an alliance among the other houses, particularly the great houses, to try and eliminate them, or at least render their influence over these lands to be lessened? Surely a great leader like you could forge an alliance where one has not been forged before?
I think a few hundred years ago, the Blood Knives were expunged from the Wastelands for a while, but really, the greater clans don't care about what happens here. It's why so many criminals like flee here. Why we
Oh.
have like clans like the Rooks.
Oh, I'm talking about the great houses of the Wastelands, not beyond. Those who are here and immediately threatened by the presence of the Blood Knives, surely forging an alliance among them, such as the Rooks and the Sand Spiders, together with yourselves and anyone else, you could have turned this area, sand notwithstanding, into a bit of a utopia if you were to remove the Blood Knives, since they would be the greatest threat to the peace, surely?
I could only trust the Sand Spiders to my back in such an endeavor, and even then, if we were victorious and our forces are fairly evenly matched, returning across the Needles, we would be easy pickings for the other clans. Then there would be a different Lord of Dragon's Teeth.
Do you not risk it at riding out now?
Oh, not with you.
Yeah, we're here.
With you four to take care of the true threat, that's fine. Your powers alone are greater than any of the clansmen together, combined.
Yet there are only 4 of us, and we cannot be everywhere at once.
Yes, but poor, incredibly powerful warriors.
Indeed. Who rules Dragon's Teeth in your absence?
My heir?
Makes sense.
And who is protecting them?
I've left a group of elders there. Torch the Elder is there. Yeah, some of my other advisors. A fair number of the lesser clan. But we already expunged the Rooks from the city, so we should be able to hold the gates, keep things safe until our return.
I hope so.
Yeah. The Fishers are staying neutral at this time, as far as I know. Maybe something could happen, but if it does, I have message stones with me, so
Why
I
you
would
call
know
them
of it.
the lesser clans? Wouldn't you have greater harmony if you called them the equal clans?
They are.
Kridi does like a kind of like a half laugh, half snort at that comment from from Rukka, but will not comment any further.
They only take the names of clans as an affectation after us. There is only really one clan in the Wastelands. Even calling them a clan lessens the word. But the groups have jumped up bandits, or adventurers. He sort of like nods off in the direction of Amir. Yeah, they're not really a clan. They've never been members of the empire. They're whatever.
They care only for themselves and have no designs other than their own power, is what you are saying.
Because you are still working off your insight of over 20, he looks confused, like, what other motivation could there be when you say that? But he does put out, like, an empty platitude of course, helping the people. It's like, blah, blah, blah. But you can tell it's, like, all vapid nonsense that he's putting out as far as he's concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Kridi, on the other hand, not Kridi, Afanen, yeah, he's talking about how it's, the duty of every lord to protect his people, and the advancement of all is what society's about.
How kind.
He's a real nice guy.
He is.
He's a little bit boring. He just like keeps saying stuff.
He is a talker.
It's like I'm not even talking and I'm tired. You know?
Well, it has been a long walk so far.
Okay, well, then I guess you sort of chat amiably. He stops trying to poke into your past, because he thinks he's figured it out, though he's a little confused. And at the end of the day, you guys will roll into deep water.
Nice, back here again.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you guys would like to do this night?
So I will reiterate to Rukka how nobody here can be trusted because everybody is out for themselves, as was clearly evidenced by Baron Giro's words.
Yeah, told you. He's a jerk.
No,
You should watch him. He's shifty.
no, he is, but he was also truthful. Even if he didn't mean to be. They are all jerks. Nobody here cares for anybody other than themselves and their own interests. The trust...
Even Amir?
Absolutely. He would... Whilst he might care for his own people, he doesn't care for anyone else's people. This is what I'm saying.
I mean,
Everybody here is...
He did say he was coming with us to help free the prisoners.
Yes,
I assume there's more than just sand spiders in the pit.
there probably are, but there are sand spiders in the pit.
I don't
So-
like this place. There's too much politicking,
Yes.
and it's too hot, and sunny,
And
and sandy.
And while some people might do some acts of beneficent kindness, they're not altruistic in any regards. They are for themselves and for their people. And ultimately, I guess that is not necessarily a bad thing, but it is not necessarily a good thing. And all I'm saying is trust with very much crossed fingers behind your back. And that includes all the people. Cognar in particular. They're all just trying to use us. Every single one of them. To further themselves.
Rukka's gonna set up his tent and then go sulk. It's less fun now that people are being jerks.
I would have thought it would have been more fun. Because there's potentially more enemies. And more shenanigans. And more machinations at hand.
Everybody roll me a d20.
19 buddies, let's go.
But I got 8. The 8. It's all pervasive. And 8 is great.
Wrong campaign.
Okay. So did anybody want to do anything tonight?
Rukka's going to go for a wander. Just
around the campsite?
Yeah, around the edges. Just wants to be by himself at the moment.
Okay,
It's not
cool.
really a campsite. You guys have kind of taken
It's a
over
village.
the like sort of small village that's been reconstructed here. There's like on top of like the Exiles Elite camp, there's also an entire like squad of Dragon's Teeth guardsmen here. So they're like sort of unaffiliated spirit archers who, they're like mercenaries, I guess is a way to think of it. Although they do have like some exiles in command of them.
Yeah, they're not part of they're not part of that that tribe or clan, but they're still hired to do stuff because
yeah,
there's
like
people
the
there's people around and they can fight good. So
They garrisoned
why not? Yeah, garrison.
We were attacked here before, didn't they?
Yep, that's right. So there's a garrison here. There's about 40 garrison here, and they've been like rebuilding the town here for like the last couple of weeks. I think they've been here for like 3.5 weeks. And so they've built like a fair amount of stuff. There's like a massive new hot spring that's been built. There's like a couple of barracks, like simple barracks. And so the tents that have been set up are actually just for like sort of the camp followers, effectively. All the actual fighters have like lodgings that have been built for them, and you guys are offered like this really nice house. It's almost like a mini palace. Yeah. It is just made out of what looks to be like hardened sandstone, but still. So if you want to walk around town, you can do that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'll just wander around town.
Cognar has not
Perfect.
returned.
You haven't seen Cognar.
Did
There's
anybody
no one
see
told
Cognar
anybody.
leave? I'll ask the group.
I saw him just before he disappeared, on the night before he disappeared. But he didn't give me any impression as to what he was up to.
Fair enough.
I know he was definitely around when we went to sleep. So it would have been at some point during the night or the morning.
Oh well. I'm sure he will turn up at some stage. Either that or he really is in Rukka's imagination and we've just bought into it.
the entire wasteland.
We might all be still in that first pit and we might be having a fevered group hallucination.
All just part of Rukka's bizarre astral projecting.
Maybe we never got out of the lava underneath the mountain.
Well,
Maybe we all drowned trying to get that giant shield.
oh, I remember that. God damn it.
Mm-hmm. But yes, I guess, not do anything in particular, nothing crazy. I'll just relax. It's been a lot of walking lately.
Okay, sure. So you three are staying in camp. Rukka's going to have a walk around.
Kridi might just see if, like, so in terms of like what's going on here, are they like still building stuff, or is it like?
Yeah, it looks like
what-
there's some construction still going on.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm not sure whether I can really help with that, unfortunately. So.
Like it's not
I am not
happening at the
strong.
moment, but
Yeah, because it's
you can
it's
see
the
there's like
afternoon.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty late. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
okay,
guys
no, and then yeah, no, it's fine. Kridi won't do much too tonight. Kridi will just hang around the group
Mhm.
and
Afanen
chat with
wants
them.
to. Oh, sorry.
I go for it.
Afanen just wants to attempt to make himself a replacement Northern Warriors ring.
Oh yeah, sure. Craft away. Are you going to use the Spirit Forge in on the Minipede?
Yes, if I'm allowed to.
Do you want
Yeah,
Arthur?
absolutely.
Do you want
Can
Arthur
that,
to assist?
I mean, if he wants, he
I
doesn't
mean,
have
are
to.
you telling anybody you're doing this?
Probably not.
Yeah, so then probably you're probably not getting Arthur. Turns out you generally need to like ask or let
Arthur's-
people know.
Yeah, Arthur is generally pretty cheap. He only eats a few bees.
No, not my bees.
Oh yeah, that's right. You've all got fucking weird things now, don't you?
How dare
Yes.
you? You're lucky I didn't give you a ring with a freaking bee on it, all of you.
What isn't like a lie? Like one of your ones, or like a sketching of it?
A sketching of it. I'm not giving you one of my bees.
Okay, that makes sense.
They're my bees.
A
Did-
bee ring, a ring that turns into a bee and stings you.
Does
Okay, well-
Rukka still have tracksuit?
Yep.
Yeah.
In fact, he's probably going to play fetch with tracksuit as he wanders.
Tracksuit
through the
is way more emo now.
Yes. I'm aware. Just like Rukka.
Tracksuit doesn't really laugh anymore, though Tracksuit is always smiling. A little bit more viciously. Yeah.
Lovely.
He's been
Though
feeding
he still matches Rukka's energy, so
He's been feeding it man flesh.
it lost its red fire and now it's just black fire. But yeah.
The emo is strong in this one. Like when I went to Sweden in, what was it, in 2010, we went to Gothenburg, so I went there for a Vitesse tournament. And seriously, Gothenburg, as per the name, it was the goth capital of the freaking world. Every second person was a goth, and I kid you not, it was ridiculous.
Sounds awesome.
It was just crazy.
Sounds awesome. Okay, so you're hanging around apart from Afanen, who goes and crafts that ring. That is a very nice ring that you managed to craft. I think that's the nicest of them. But it's still
Nice.
just like it's a very good. It's not like you can make better. You've made better than that before. But yeah, it's nice. It's like it's a masterwork. You know, it's like what a master would create. Yeah, which is good. Okay, so Kridi and Åvna can make me perception checks.
Cool.
Oh, I rolled average. Actually, I rolled
That's
poor. I rolled below average.
better than me.
I rolled a 5.
And Rukka, you can make me a perception check with advantage.
Pretty good.
Okay. Rukka, as you're like traveling around, you see Jiro, that guy that he's like always hanging around with, Peter, and Grunback, and they like go into the baths.
Okay. Is there like windows to the baths?
There are, but they all seem to be shuttered.
Perfect.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wow, this is what you've the great mighty warrior Rukka.
Well, Rukka might reabsorb tracksuit and flick up his hood of elven kind
Mm-hmm.
and head into the baths.
All right, you want to sneak into the baths?
Yep.
Sure. Make me a stealth check, please. P5. Okay. Well, that's pretty fucking good. Just yep. Okay, sure. You sneak into the bars. We will move you all over. So the only person who is seeing this is Rukka, but we're going to take you over to the bars anyway. Blah, 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 blah.
They are big bars.
The massive bar, absolutely huge. It's
How
been
big are
made
those
to-
tables?
And Rukka, you're just hiding over here behind this massive lion statue that they seem to have dragged here from somewhere. Grab Rukka. There you are. You're not that little.
Itsy
There we
bitsy
go.
Rukka.
There's Rukka. Alright. And you can see Lord Giro and Grumbuck sort of in the baths. Peter's over here. It's taken you a while. You had to sneak in, so you've been fairly slow. It seems like you know, some stuff's been happening, and now there's just these two lords in the bath, 6 feet apart. And then there's these other 5 guys in the baths, all 6 feet apart as well.
You come back just in time, Kaylee, to see Rukka perving on people in a bath.
No, Rukka.
Yep, he followed them into the baths. Invisible. Or close
Yeah.
to.
Hey,
Can't stop staring at pretty people.
Anyway, can you make me another perception check? This is not an advantage. 15. You can hear them sort of talking faintly, but you can't really make out what they're saying. From where you are, you'd have to get closer.
Going to have to try and get closer then.
All right.
Maybe
Yeah, that's
underneath
fine.
a table or behind a chair, behind a bush, in the bush.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Make me a stealth check. Straight. Oh well, actually, you've got advantage because you have the elf.
A caribou in the bush is worth what in the hand?
A 19.
And they have disadvantage.
Yeah,
as
yeah, I know, they have disadvantage. Okay, that's fine. So you can move your speed up. You can move a bit closer. Make me another perception check.
You are rolling good
All right.
perceptions for only +3.
So
Yeah.
So you sort of managed to get up to here, hiding behind this massive brazier. You think that they like heat up the water in these things or something, though they're sort of empty at the moment. And you can overhear them talking, and you hear Jiro say, I don't know where Cognar's gone, but I expect him to turn up probably at the least opportune time. Maybe right now. He sort of turns around. Anyway, can't be everywhere. Just follow the messages that I've sent, and everything will be fine. Do you have any news from your masters? And this person over here says, yes, they won't arrive in time. Not unless you are substantially slowed down. Do you want to do anything, Rukka?
No, Rukka's going to keep listening.
Cool. Make me another stealth check, please. You have your advantage and everything. Okay. Grumbeck says, I'm not sure if we'll be able to pull that off. And Jiro says, I think I've got them eating out of the palm of my hand. I was talking to them all day today. They're very trusting. I think we could possibly slow it down for a little bit. We've got some people. Maybe we could set up some innocents for them to save. They seem to be into that. I don't know. Maybe it's some kind of training from the sect. Now, just to be clear, I don't want any of them harmed. They have friends. The Frozen Blade sect. I can't be certain, but maybe in some of the other sects as well. Seems like that pretty one. He may be the son of the dead sword sage. It sounds like.
That's dead.
Also, I'm just upset that you're being referred to as the pretty one. Do you take your mask off at all, or have you or is it
Oh, no,
that just-
No, Rukka, yeah, the mask does come off.
Okay,
He'll
cool.
have it up and then shields the sun with his hands rather than pulling the mask down, which would cut out most of the sun because that's what it's designed to do.
Cool.
Afanen's whole mutation from choosing the path he chose was just to become prettier, and
That's
yet
right. And yet
you
still
are the
not
pretty
the
one.
prettiest. Yeah. Don't
Well, I
worry,
mean-
this Martin is
Bullshit.
the second prettiest.
This is bullshit. Always a bridesmaid.
I mean,
When's it? Masha. That reference was, I guess, not for anybody. Damn it.
Put your Brady
Anyway.
Bunch back in your pocket.
Yeah, I know.
I
Damn
got it and chose to ignore it.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Do you continue listening?
For a little bit longer, yeah.
Okay, so they sort of discuss so Jiro says, anyway, I think after what's been discussed has been dealt with, we can part amicably. I wish no strife between us, and of course, when your masters visit, please don't come across the needles. And this one says, no promises. We don't speak for the masters.
All right, Rukka's going to try and sneak out of there now before they break up.
All right. Make me 2 stealth checks, please.
you have some inspiration there in case you need it. But
Oh,
you'll
he
probably be
doesn't need it.
Yeah.
One with
Rukka's
the knife.
stealing all of Afanen's things.
Rukka sneaks out. Rukka, on
You
your
could
way
be
out,
doing
please
this.
make me 2 straight perception checks.
Then I'm going to have to be right back. Just got to let the dog that was just barking out.
Oh well, we got one of them.
As you exit, you just sort of glance out of the side of your eye, and on the ceiling, just sort of standing there, cleaning like a bit of the roof, you notice Cognar. And he's just looking at you while he's cleaning the roof. His eyes are really wide, and he's you can see him mouth. Ooh.
He fucking lives through this drama, doesn't he?
Sounds like an old boss I used to have.
I've got to let the dog out. I'll be back soon.
All right.
Hey,
So
well, Kridi wasn't wrong, I guess.
I'll move you back to the travel map. I'm guessing Rukka's going to return and tell you guys. Maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Like, I assume he will, because I don't
Who
think
knows?
he's clever
Who
enough to try and keep that a secret. But
Rukka too might like drama and surprises. We don't know. Anyway, for everybody else, the night sort of passes fairly uneventfully. Although I guess we'll need to wait to see if Rukka tells you. If he does, I guess you should probably plan out what you're thinking of doing.
I mean, but the first question, I'll wait. Once again, there's no, he won't be that long. Like, it's fine. We'll cope
Mhm.
until then.
Indeed.
Cool. So just on that note, how much of a trip is it to get to the I guess the Needles from here? It'd be like another 3 days.
Each square is 10 miles, so that's still, you haven't changed the
About
map.
8 days to the Needles?
You haven't changed the map to say that it's the rule is in miles. It's still in feet.
Yeah, I guess because it will.
Oh, how do I change that? Oh,
In the
under
settings.
fog.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's fine.
wait up.
So
You
it's
change
20 there. That
You
was 2
change it so
days.
that each square represents 10 miles. But if you do it now,
Yeah.
it might screw up the
So 6
dimensions
days.
of the map.
Yeah, into the Needles.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's fine. It's fine. Just, yeah, there's a key. Each square's 10 miles.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so it is a long trip across here, all the way to Freshwater.
Yeah. About 8 days to the
Yeah.
Needles.
And then to the Needles. Cool.
Mhm.
So we do have some time, but
Yeah, 6 days to Freshwater, realistically.
yep, if we're not delayed.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we'll have to try not to be delayed. Maybe.
Sorry, back.
All right. So you have left the baths. You can make it back across camp to your mini palace thing, your villa, and to the rest of the group. What's Rukka doing?
Are they all awake, or have they gone to sleep?
It's still
They're
pretty
asleep. He's gonna
early.
wake them up.
You return at almost the same time as Afanen. Afanen actually sort of steps in just after you. But you're just sort of looking around at the people who are awake, and Afanen like walks in behind you.
This is
Guys.
like the evening.
I-
Or was this in the evening or in the morning?
It's in the evening.
Yeah, cool.
Can I stealth in so that I don't want
Absolutely,
Rukka to
you're
see me.
always in stealth. If you want to make a stealth check so nobody notices you, feel free.
Thank
just have
you.
to be their passive perceptions.
I need to prove myself. Ah, shit.
Sure. Nobody knows you except for Åvna.
My passive perception is 25.
Oh, okay. I don't mind if Åvna notices me. Just as
Yeah.
long as Rukka doesn't notice me.
Oh, that's stupid.
Incredible.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Guys, we've got to talk, and we've got to make sure there's no one here. Quick, close the doors and the windows.
I mean, how important is this? Because we could probably go somewhere
Well,
else. that we
Rukka
know
looks
we're
pretty
alone.
concerned. So we probably should go somewhere else.
Okay, let's go outside of town, where there's nobody.
Indeed.
Are you guys sneaking out of
I mean,
town, or are you just going to walk off into the desert for a bit?
I think we should just walk off.
yeah, sneaking would imply that we're doing something we don't want to be seen about. If we just walk off, it'll just be like,
Okay, you guys start heading.
Afanen is sneaking.
Yeah, that's
I'm
fine.
yeah, obviously.
It only takes one person not to be sneaking, but you're Yeah. So is just Afanen sneaking?
Yes.
Yep.
Well,
Rukka
I'm-
will, if he gets asked, he'll just say, "We need to go stretch our legs." And
Yeah, that's fine. Afanen, make me another stealth check as you sneak out of town. It's hard to stay stealthy with a group that are not being stealthy because they're kind of dragging eyes like to you constantly, and you're sort of trying to keep up with them. And so you are spotted by some people. And as you sort of reach the edge of camp, Peter rushes over, and he's like, sorry, is there something lacking in your accommodation? Maybe we could put you up somewhere different."
We will be back. We just have things that we need to attend for our clans and our sects.
Of course. Yes. Whatever you need to do. Make an insight check, everybody. He can't stop you, but he's not sure if you're telling the truth. He's just like, oh, I hope they don't leave.
Fair enough. On that note, Kridi will be keeping, I guess, an eye out just to see if anybody's like. Obviously, people are noticing us, but if anyone's like, is anyone following us? Are we being like looked at concernedly, especially by like, just by I guess anyone? Doesn't really matter.
Sure. Make me a. In fact, everybody can make me a perception check, but Kridi can have advantage.
I don't think it'll help, but sure.
Can I have advantage?
Get
Yeah,
out
that
of
would've been-
here.
That would have been real nice. 31.
I would have seen over the.
31.
I would have seen over the curvature of the earth.
You would have. All right.
I think 25 is pretty good. I wouldn't be
25 is-
complaining about that.
25 is pretty good. It's only 31 though. Okay, so. Yeah, no, it doesn't seem to be anybody follows you.
Cool, awesome. Let's keep our voices down anyway, though. Actually, I will just. I'll talk. I'll like just turn around to like Rukka and say, how serious is this?
serious.
Okay, cool. In that case, I will just cast Detect Magic and see if there's anything unusual around us.
Are you casting as a spell slot, or are you spending 10 minutes to cast as a ritual?
I'll just cast a spell slot. I haven't used much spells many spell slots this today. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. You cast it.
Like basically,
Interesting.
I'm looking for like if there's like
Yeah.
Divination.
anything anything unusual that might be on around us. Again, it's only 30 feet, so who knows? But like,
Yeah. 30 feet. Yep. Okay. There's nothing apart from like all the magical stuff you guys call,
Yeah.
carry. There's no additional magic within 30 feet of you that you sense.
Yep, no worries. Alrighty. I guess that will be just make a note to be quiet because there's not much.
Well, how about I'm going to put a wall of fire around us
Oh, okay. Why?
because it's
When we're in our secret location, of course.
well just outside the thing. I said we were doing things about our sects, etc. So, bang, wall of fire. It's flashy. It also, shows that we might be doing something that is legit. So, plus,
Sure.
it's,
Roll me a d20.
Yeah.
plus
fair.
it's also the cone of silence.
Actually, before you roll, okay, fine. If you haven't rolled yet, give me high or low.
What tell you high or low?
Yeah.
High.
Okay, now roll your d20.
Right. Oop, come on. Go away, stupid crap. Wow, that was 30. My fingers are all over the place because I'm not sitting straight.
Oh. Okay, so you put up like a wall of fire,
Mhm.
and there's a ah! And like Cognar like rolls out of the wall of fire through like the desert over to you, and ends resting with his like hand under his head, looking up at you all. Wow, fancy meeting you guys in a place like this. He's still like a little bit on fire.
Okay, guys. So
Kridi will like stare at him and say like, "Do you enjoy making them," and she gestures like back towards the camp, like squirm?
Endlessly.
First
What
bit of-
else is there?
Yeah.
First bit of news: I found Cognar.
Well, okay. Are you happy to speak while?
Cognar heard everything that I'm about to tell you.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Of course he did. A better question would be, how many Cognars are there? Are you Legion?
Oh, when they made me, they broke the mold.
Well, I assume he heard everything because he was hiding on the roof, and I was hiding behind a vat.
I was cleaning on the roof. It was a little bit dusty up there. Hiding. I never hide. People just never look where I'm standing. Unless I want them to.
Because you were on the roof.
Alrighty. Anyway, you said you had important information.
So, I followed Jiro into the bathhouse,
Mm.
and I spied on him.
Mm.
Ognar says, you know, it will be less fun this way.
In response to,
Just in response to like Rukka starting to like speak, like tell this story.
He wants us to be surprised by something because he lives for the drama affecting everybody.
Don't you like surprises?
But we can do the surprise ourselves.
Well,
Under his breath, Afanen is like, Åvna hates surprises.
it's more fun when I'm the only one doing the surprises.
With passive perception
Okay.
25, I would have heard that Afanen.
Yeah, you're the only one who heard it.
Kridi's too focused on Rukka and Cognar.
So, he was talking to people and organizing to delay us tomorrow by having people put at risk for us to save, but they're not actually going to be at risk because he doesn't want them hurt. And they made a deal.
Just out of character, the not being hurt was us four.
No,
I think.
let Rukka tell it how he perceived
Yeah,
it.
fair.
That's what's important, not what
Indeed.
you heard.
So we should be able to ignore that. And
Because
Hey.
hold on, who was he talking to?
so I'm getting to that. Just
Okay.
talking to these people in the bathhouse, and then they ended it by saying, and you can make a deal with your master to not come across the needles. So I'm thinking that they're blood knives, because they're the only people that would then come across the needles, and they're trying to get to the same place before us, which is why Jiro's trying to slow us down. So he is going to double cross us and be the only one to walk away. I called it like 2 days ago.
Well done.
When you say,
And
well, how
also,
did they refer to? How did explicitly do they refer to their like master?
their master.
They use the affectation of master. Well, Jiro is even dumber than I thought if he is actually actively engaged in
Could
an
it?
alliance with the Blood Knives, even a temporary one.
But
Mm.
it's. I have a feeling that the coming across the needles would be possibly referring to the whatever the big thing's going to happen.
Well, we
he
don't
said
know.
after this was done.
No. What's the we were warned about the blood hunt or whatever it was coming down
The Blood Hall.
the blood hall. Yeah. Like I feel like that might be much more reasonable to assume that what they're referring to coming across the needles,
Either.
because the blood knives are coming across the needles anyway. We
Well,
know they strike.
Some of the Blood Knives are. We don't know if all of them are. And we don't know if one's in particular. Okay, so yes, you called it, and that proves that Jiro is even dumber than I had thought. So if they are going to try and delay us tomorrow,
Or at some point, I guess.
well,
They said tomorrow.
Oh, they
They
did
did
say
say
tomorrow.
tomorrow,
Okay,
yes.
cool.
Peter,
I'm
Peter's
going
in
off
on
what
it too.
you've got to unlearn what you have learned, young Oz, and disregard what you heard and let Rukka tell
Yes.
the tale.
Indeed.
And Rukka said tomorrow. If that is the case, then we have a few options. We can not be here, or we can push on faster, or we can let him delay us, or we can bring Amir and the Sand Spiders into this if you want to trust them.
I mean, I think trusting someone that Jiro thinks is below him isn't a bad idea.
You risk.
Jiro made it very clear that he doesn't think anything of.
Was there anybody else with Jiro in the bathhouse, like from the exiles, but like that you knew, I guess?
Peter was standing guard,
He was
And
too
he-
far to hear.
but he was
Just-
standing guard, so he knows
Yep.
that stuff's
Mhm.
going on. And there was that other guy that he's always with.
His bodyguard, or
Yep.
like the champion, I should say.
When you say the champion, Cognar like smiles really wide.
If we
And Cognar
engage,
can back up everything I said because he was cleaning the ceiling while all this was going on.
Cognar will say what Cognar wants, won't you, Cognar? And
Oh
you,
yes.
and you will not say stuff that you want because you'll want the drama. So
I just like surprises.
Are you?
If you-
Did they?
if you
Oh,
bring,
oh, sorry.
I was going to say, if you bring Amir into this and the Sand Spiders, you risk open conflict between the Sand Spiders and the Exiles.
He did say that he didn't want bad things to happen to us. So, he obviously thinks there were worse stuff. But, I kind of got a little distracted because he said that my dad might be dead and might be the head of Frost Swords.
Do
Whatever
any of us know what that is?
He thinks he knows where we're from. At least that's what I picked up when we discussed stuff with him yesterday. I think he's wrong. I think he is misunderstanding what we have said and assigning to us a place and a people that is incorrect. He is making a misconception. So I wouldn't take what he said about your father as truthful. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I would assume that he is shooting wide. I'm going to look at Cognar when I say that. What's his reaction?
He's just smiling.
Of course he is.
Rukka, how many people did Jiro meet?
It was a little hard to tell through all the mist and stuff. But like 4 or 5.
And did they look like the blood knives, like the ones we've seen before?
Could I see how? Aaron,
Uh,
was that something that Rook was able to pick up on?
How powerful they were?
Well, whether they looked like they were blood knives or not.
You can make me a history check. Well,
That's not too bad for a +0.
It is pretty good for a +0, but it wasn't the DC because my standard DC is 13. So you didn't recognize them.
If you're worried about the innocents, the best way to, even though you said for them not to come to harm, there is always the risk. The best way to ensure that they are not harmed is to not be there to spring the trap. We have spoken to our gods and they have instilled in us the urgency with which we need to get to the needles, so we will push on ahead.
On camels?
On anything. We are not a caravan, they are.
Yeah.
We will travel
We
faster.
we could go ahead without them. But that would also tip off.
No, it wouldn't. As I said, we have come out here and we have spoken to our gods and they have told us to go ahead because of the urgency of the matter.
We've communed with our guides and they've said all haste.
It tips off nothing other than the fact that we have divine guidance.
I like it. Do we let do we let Amir know to just be careful?
That Wall of Fire would have run out by now too. It was only a minute.
Yep.
So should we all sit down and cross our legs and make it look like we're divining for a little bit and then go
Åvna
back?
says, I like surprises, but if you leave Amir in this camp, that might be too much of a surprise for him to survive.
Yeah. I'm fairly confident he only joined us because we were here.
Then if you get him on board, there will possibly be open conflict, surely?
Do we just say that our spirit guardian said that we needed his help?
Alternatively,
Yeah.
You just engage in the open conflict and just walk back in and say, this is what has happened.
Jakuz?
Jiro is in league with the Blood Knives.
Would we capture the blood knives?
If they're still in the camp, maybe
That's
they have...
what that's why I was asking about the appearance. Because like, did they sneak in here? Are they disguised as other things? Like, how did they get here to like liaison? Is the thing. Like, they must have been here, or at least known we were coming here beforehand.
Jiro did say they were sending messages.
Jiro also mentioned when we spoke to him, he had message stones.
Yeah. So, but they still have to I assume most of the garrison or the guard would fight the Blood Knives if they knew they were there. Like, they're not people that just let them walk through the town generally, even if they weren't causing a fuss.
The other thing you can do...
Would you steal one of his message stones and send false messages?
Well, the other thing we could do is we could tip off Amir to leave the camp and return to his people. Take those that he has travelled with and return to his people.
As much as I hate to play devil's advocate here, could there be a reason that Jiro is so desperate to not have whatever it is cross the needles? From what I've heard of the blood, whatever it is. Sorry,
Blood
I've forgotten
Hall.
again. The Blood Hall. It's not a pleasant thing, and it might cause a lot of damage. I don't know. It doesn't sound like it'd be great if it just goes over Dragon's Tooth.
Well,
Dragon's Tooth.
Jiro showed what was important to him. And it is power, and it is prestige, and it is nothing else. His seat of power is everything. He would like to consolidate that, so eliminating potential challenges is probably the most important thing to him. He doesn't care about anything else, but if the blood hall or whatever it is, we're making an assumption here that that is what is going to cross the needles, or the master or the masters of these people he was meeting crosses the needles, it could cause a shift in the political landscape, and it could potentially undermine him. That's probably why he doesn't want it to cross the needles, but it doesn't really matter. So
I'd imagine that probably a lot of other people would be hurt in the process, though.
yeah, it doesn't really matter why he doesn't want it to cross. All that matters is that it could cross. We are going to go and do what we need to do. And we can either tip Amir off to leave, we can tip Amir off about the betrayal, we can leave Amir. We could engage in a full-blown battle here and now, which would probably have the desired outcome for the Blood Knives anyway, because that would delay us considerably.
And also, we're currently in the town with everybody else. Like, if we were going to fight, I'd prefer to do it while we're moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Because at least we'll still have the entire force of the what they brought with them, but...
If we are going to fight, you just cut the head off.
Yeah.
That would be the quickest way.
Depending how I don't think Druid will be easy to kill.
I'm not necessarily saying kill him, but eliminate him from the battlefield. But, yeah, these are all the options. My preference would be to send Amir and his people away and to push on.
We don't
When
want
you
to try
say-
and intercept the
I was just going to say,
people on
when
the
you
way
say... Sorry.
What were you saying, sorry?
I was just saying, when Kridi says Jura might not be easy to kill, Cogna will say, not if you're doing it right.
So what were you saying, sorry, Rukka?
we don't want to try and capture the potential blood knives on their way out of town.
They may have already left.
They may be in the surrounding area, which is why Dodgy Pete might not have wanted us to come out here.
It's possible as
So
well.
we could have a look around before we go back.
It's a large area, but we could. What do you think, Afanen? You've been quiet.
Afanen's been like staring at Cogna this whole time, I think.
Sure, make me a wisdom saving throw.
Gosh. What? Just for looking at him?
Yep.
Just for looking at him.
Fuck.
Oh,
you're-
no.
You're charmed by Cogna. He is perfection. Like, the robes have burnt off him in just the right areas, that it's leaving perfect amount of mystery, but also is revealing enough that you're getting a little hot under the ceremonial robes. Yeah.
Well, Afanen doesn't think anything. Afanen's just heart-eyesing at Cogna. Fucking Cogna.
And that's what you're thinking about.
How old is Cogna?
Who knows?
You don't know.
I feel like
never asked him.
I feel like I'm playing with the pre-teens that I started playing with.
Yes.
Oh, come
We're
on.
all preteens.
People are allowed to be horny. We are literally playing teenagers.
That's right. You're all teenagers.
Just like
Um,
so Åvna's like, what do you think, Afanen? And Afanen is just staring at Cognar and just like really quietly like, Åvna hates surprises.
Cool. Kridi will speak up and say, I think from looking at like Rukka and Åvna, from our dealings in the past with Amir, he seems to be mostly trustworthy. He seems to be, at least in terms of his own, his himself and his clan. He seems to actually care for the people under him more so than
I would say that
Jiro.
I would say that he is the most trustworthy. Absolutely.
I think we should give him the option of what he wants to do.
That then means that you reveal the betrayal to him. You can't give him the option without giving him the information.
I'm aware, but like I think he should know, so considering he's out here with how much of his clan has come with
3 other people?
Oh, so he hasn't brought like
No,
the rest of him, so it's just those 4 people basically.
Yeah.
that's why
Okay,
it would
cool.
be easy for him to pack up and leave in the middle of the night.
Yeah, cool. But that means he's got everybody else that he's under protection back in the Dragon.
Alternatively, he could come with us when we push on.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where
I think Kridi thinks we should let him know and have him weigh into this because it seems like this will affect him quite a lot.
I think we just ask him to come with us and ask him to trust us.
I mean, we can offer things, but like we should probably figure out what we're doing as well regardless of what they do.
I think we should do it.
Kridi agrees we should push on, but like, do we want to stay? I personally would prefer to stay with the exiles. I think it's better that we can monitor them and figure out what's going, because we know that like what's his name? Sorry, Jiro and his close confidants know about this. But what about the 20 warriors under their command? How much do they know? Are they on board with it? What's like? I feel like getting feelers into there and seeing how they.
It's just Order 66.
Yeah.
I'll just follow because that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
I think we do a recons before we go back, see if we can find anyone trying to leave camp. Then we tell Amir that he just needs to trust us and follow our.
If we're gonna tell him, we should do it out here.
I
Do
think
we want to talk to him? Because
follow
I
out.
will. I'll contact him right now.
If we bring him out here, then it will tip the hat immediately.
I will tell him to be stealthy.
No, I think we need to
Immediately.
down. We just say we need to go and you need to follow us, and just ask him to trust us.
Do not think if Jiro is betraying us, which it seems to be all intents that's the case, he will be watching us and he will be watching Amir. So it was evidence when we tried to leave the camp that we were being watched.
By Dodgy Pete.
And they are probably standing off in the distance watching us even now. If you ask Amir to come out here, it will tip the hat immediately. You can message him now, can you?
I know sending, so
Then send him a message. It's 25 words, is it not?
yeah, 25 words.
Then send him a message of 25 words to indicate that we are going to leave. He needs to follow and trust us, and we will do so in the dead of night.
Is that what we're doing? We want to move on immediately, without telling anybody else.
I mean, we'll get questioned as we leave.
Yes, we will. because they have sentries, and we will not sneak out. But what we can do is when we leave, that will probably make a commotion that Emir and his 3 might be able to sneak out. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, if we say, you know, oh yeah, we've been told to go ahead, it's like, why are they going with you type thing. It's like kind of,
Because they don't have a caravan,
yeah.
and they can choose.
I mean, they've got a giant millipede, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Minipede, yep.
Repeat, yeah.
PDP'd.
It's basically the slowest thing in the caravan.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be going very fast, unfortunately.
They'd have to leave it behind if they want to run off.
Yeah.
or they could send it home.
With what, one person?
It's a fairly safe road from deep water to.
Are you
does-
sure we want to let everybody know? That's the other thing. Are you sure we want to like split up? Because
Do
like I
you-
feel like we could just
Just what?
travel along as normal.
But we can't. As Rukka has said, they're going to try and delay us. They even have plans to do so. So we can't travel along as normal, because as soon as the very first delay attempt occurs, we either fall for it or we don't. And if we don't, what then?
They'll try again or try more desperately.
No, if we have innocents that we are to try and rescue, as Rukka said that they are going to do tomorrow, and we don't do it, what does that tell them?
I mean, that we're in a hurry.
Not necessarily.
They were also spending a lot of time debating about where Cognar was. And he did ask us a lot of questions about Cognar, so they could assume that we're working with Cognar and they don't like that, so it's going to be negative at that point anyway.
Kridi gestures to Cognar and says, "We are working with Cognar."
He
No,
waves.
we're
We're
working.
next to
We're
Cognar.
working adjacent.
He like, it's not a frown, but it's like this smiling pout. Like, oh, you don't want to work with me?
Uwu.
Barnum's just nodding.
So there's the gif of Afanen, if you see.
Yeah. No. I don't think there's any good options, unfortunately.
Fine. Do you want to send to? Does he get an option to respond?
To respond, yes, he does.
He does.
Then work out 25 words with which you can tell him of the danger and the betrayal, and get him to respond in 25 words what he wants to do.
While we go look for these escaping spies.
I don't think that'll be. I think he'll probably want more clarification than what we can send it across a simple sending.
Doesn't matter. That's what he gets.
Has the just a question? As when the camp was set up, did the sand spiders like set up apart from everybody else, or did they get provided like a place where everybody else is?
They have like it's like not as nice as what you guys are in, but they have like a little building that's for them.
Cool.
It's like a part of the rebuilt inn.
How private was our place? Like, was it apart
Very.
from everything else?
I mean, it's still in town, but
yeah.
yeah, it's not like there's like 60 feet of sort of space all the way around it. So yeah, it's fairly isolated. It's like a little chateau. That's actually a better. It's not like a.
Yeah, okay, cool.
It's not like a villa. It's not like a castle. It's like in between. It's a chateau.
Do we want to like maybe try and arrange just for him to come over to our little place, then have a talk in there, and then discuss it there. We could probably be a bit more vague with what we speak if we're worried about being overheard, or we could have someone look out just in case.
We will have to do a very thorough reconnoitre to make sure that there are no hiding holes, no channels by which sound can travel through.
I mean, if it's 60 feet away from things like behind the walls, if we just speak quietly enough, I'm sure it'll be all right.
You do know that you can have little channels that have been cut into the walls or into the ground or into this roof through which it can amplify sound and make it travel very long distances into other rooms where people can listen. And unless you know what you're looking for and find it, you can be whispering away to your heart's content, but people 60, 100 feet away can hear you as though you were shouting. If they are in the right spot.
That's why you brought us out here.
Yes.
Ah. Clever.
How much paper does Kridi have?
Quite a bit. I think you've got like a scroll case. Don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, with like
Yeah, then there's probably
all my
like
cut out
30
tools and
sheets
stuff.
of paper in there.
No speaking, just writing. How about that?
Yes, we can do that.
But okay, cool. In that case, I will message Obi and get him to join us there.
Let's work
But
out what you're going to
let's-
say to him.
Yes, but also let's figure out what we are planning to do. I think we offer him. Do we just want to go ahead and offer them the chance to come with us, or like go back? Like, are we pushing on ahead ourselves? I think that's the goal.
I think that's the goal, and I think we just say you need to follow our lead and trust us.
Well, we're gonna tell him actually what's going on and give him the choice to what happens with him and his people. But if you two are in agreement that we should push forward and without the exiles,
You can't
do
take the
we-
exiles. The exiles, because of what Rukka has said, they are not going to be an assistance in any fight going forward.
yeah,
They will be a hindrance. Jiro will throw all of his troops at us. He doesn't care about them.
well, just to slow us down.
Well, when we get to the Needles, the whole point, it seems, is that he is working to stop us from being successful. If we get there and a fight ensues, what side do you think Jiro will be on?
I think you'll be on Jiro's side and nobody else.
That's right, but who in that fight? Who do you think his troops will attack?
I wish we knew more about the troops, these soldiers.
Doesn't matter. They are soldiers, and they are probably loyal. And even if they have some questions, they don't immediately question authority, and they won't go against their baron, their lord, for anything that we can possibly provide. Not in the short term. Unless you had indisputable proof. Like a video recording.
I know this great YouTube
Those are
channel.
called spirit tablets.
Okay, cool. Okay, okay then. Sure, we'll push on tonight without the exiles and offer Amir the choice to join us or leave or stick with the exile. I don't think you'll stick with the exiles, but alrighty. As for the message, I will send Amir. Do we want to let him know? I guess do we want to let him know of the danger immediately, or just do we want to let him know to come chat with us at our place of residence? And should we do it out here or like when we're back?
I still don't think we should tell him anything.
I disagree. He can't make a choice if he doesn't know what's going on.
So this
And I
is
think just
25.
saying-
This is 25 words. But you can tweak it, obviously, because you might want to tell him when we're leaving. How many times can you cast Sending?
As many spell slots I have.
Of course you can. It's 5th edition. So therefore, that's that can be the initial.
Yeah. So you'd prefer not to talk to him at all?
Yes and no.
I guess less risky.
It's much less risky. If we are observed or heard, then you run the risk of us, being the fly in the web.
Okay, cool. In that case, yeah, fine. I'll use up my little spells then, if we need to keep the conversation going. I got 3. Yeah, I got 3, so I can do that. I'll probably save 1 just in case for other things. Cool.
Before we send that, do we need to go back and get our own gear to leave?
Yes, we will, obviously. I mean, Kridi can send this from back there.
And are we going to do a quick search before we head back? While we're out here?
We can do that if you want. Or I can do that. I can turn into a wolf and run around and smell everything.
That sounds cool.
Does Åvna in wolf form like hang out with tracksuit sometimes?
I don't have a token. I need a token. There we go.
Are you typing out the message you're sending?
Yes.
Okay.
5, 6.
So do you want
10.
me to turn into a wolf and then run around and see if I can find them?
I think so. I think it's worth doing anyway.
Disco Wolf. Da-na-na-na-na-na. All right. So you're going to run around trying to find them while Kridi's sending this message?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Using the scent ability. Wolves have scent, do they not?
Yeah,
And using
absolutely.
my perception.
Yep. You've got an hour. Oh, actually, you can do this for as long as you want. How long do you want to be running around the camp?
Well,
Running around.
I will basically go in a full circumference of deep water, so as long as it takes to do so.
All right. That's going to take a couple of hours.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. You're going pretty fast to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can make me a survival check, straight. Just because, yep, you've got bonus for scent, but you're going really fast. And Arthur can't help you because you're using an ability that he doesn't have.
Mm-hmm.
A 14. Okay. As you pass by here,
Mm-hmm.
so this area of the camp, you smell the recent signs of some people passing through this area, and then as you come by here, you again smell people recently passed through this area.
Well, I'm going to spend a bit more time around those 2 areas.
Sure. Make me a survival check here with advantage.
16. 14 again, sorry. Yep.
Yeah, so there's you believe a group came into town here, and maybe that group, maybe a different group, left, going in the same direction. They're headed off in sort of this direction, as far as you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then for this one, can you roll me another survival?
I'm going to use... I won't bother using it with that roll.
Okay, so a group came in from this direction.
Mm-hmm.
and you recognize the smell of one of the individuals. You fought them in the labyrinth, and they like escaped.
Yep.
It was the group
they
that was
were
with their fucking leader, of course it was.
Yeah, so one of those guys you like sent out, and he came into town and he left by this same direction. And he seemed to be like following the trade road.
Okay.
And that's the sending I sent to him, yeah. Is that how you spell Duro? Is it with two?
Duro, I think it was
one
two
one
R's.
R.
But it was one R.
Oh, anyway.
Yeah.
Baron
It doesn't-
Duro. It doesn't matter because you're saying stuff, you're not spelling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's irrelevant, but like just for future reference.
Yes, Baron Duro, Lord of Dragon's Teeth, has 1J on the file. Alright, well, if I noticed him, how long ago roughly do I get an idea of how old is the scent?
The scent's about, by the time you get to it, an hour and a half old.
Alright, and he has left. Alright, I'll do a quick run up the road and see if I can find out where they've gone.
They seem to be following this road.
Yes, but I'll see if they're hanging off the edge of the road or if they keep going.
They seem to keep going up this road for a while.
Okay, so they're heading back to
But
Hollow
like
Tomb.
you follow the road for like a couple of minutes. They seem to be following the road.
Okay. Alright, well, I will just run back around to the rest of Deepwater then, I guess, and...
In reply, Kridi, you get, well, fuck, thanks. Meet with you? Stealth out of town? Where are you? Wait here? I don't have this ability. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, and this is while Åvna's run off, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay,
It's
cool.
gone for
So-
like 2 hours, so you've got like heaps of time. In fact, Åvna's gone for a bit over 2 hours.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'll turn to Rukka and say, Amir wants to talk to us, as I predicted.
That's not what he said. You're
I mean,
really
it-
bad at listening, aren't you?
that is literally what he said. He said he wanted to meet up and
That's not-
talk, as well as everything else. Like,
Glad Rukka's not the only one that doesn't give.
The misinterpretations are awesome. I am not against it. This is like a bunch of kids. They're like, I don't know. He said some stuff. He kept talking. Fuck that. Just get to the point. Ah,
hold on, that's exactly what you said though.
okay.
We've got to go back and get our stuff. So just tell him to be ready, and we'll give him a cue as to when we're leaving.
He didn't express that he wanted to go with us yet, though. So I don't know whether he's still keen on that, or whether he even wants to.
You really...
He did say thank you twice.
Yes,
He
I'm
said,
aware.
you know, I'm going to shut up because I'm sniffing the road.
Yeah, that's right. You're
He
also
either
road.
comes with us or he doesn't. Either way, we're going. So, we can like knock on his door or something when we're ready to leave. And if he wants,
The point was being, if they're going to leave with us, they want to leave like stealthily as opposed to.
so can you tell him? Yeah, we'll stealth. We'll let you know when.
We can just tell him when. I already told him when tonight. I guess he wants a bit more exact.
Yeah, so maybe just say, busy now. We'll be back soon. Just be ready. Cool bananas. Is that enough words? Do I need more words? I can add more words if you want.
Oh,
Say thank you a couple of times.
Well, I don't know that he said
Do you
that.
remember any of the questions he asked you?
Pardon?
Do you remember any of the questions that he asked you?
You said it very quickly.
Damn it! Okay, that's fine. That's fair. I mean, the words did come back in a bit of a jumble.
Yeah. Like he asked us basically, can we talk? And he mentioned that he couldn't do this back. I should have asked you just to write it down. But that's no fun.
No,
is it?
because it's way better that you have to listen to what he says. I mean, he literally started it by wasting a word because he was
Yes.
so infuriated and then realized what he was doing.
It's even better.
Yeah, I remember the
It's
beginning.
even, sorry, keep going, Kaylee.
I feel like I remember one of the questions, but I didn't actually hear it. So
No, it was only Kridi. This is entirely Kridi's thing. But Kridi should be smart enough. Kridi should be smarter than me to remember this shit. is what I'm saying.
It's it's even better when the response cuts out halfway through because they've gotten to 25 words.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they haven't
go,
told you the important
They
bit.
followed it. Yeah. No, I'm aware. Okay.
He
so,
did actually want to say one more word as a side note, but yeah.
Fiddlesticks.
No, he just wanted to say his name because the last two words were "thank you, Amir."
Yeah,
But he didn't get Amir out.
it's fine. That I know who it is. I literally sent it to him. Okay.
He's very polite.
it
Yeah.
did sound a little bit like getting a text from your granddad or something. Like,
Yeah, it did. Because he's probably not familiar.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So, currently. Then what? You're gonna send that?
That's Rukka's suggestion.
Why would Kridi? Okay, that's not sure. I'm not even gonna bother. Okay, so busy tracking blood. So it's busy tracking blood knives. Will return soon.
what's Cognar doing?
Probably drinking a brandy.
Will
Is he coming with us? Do I need to make him an NW ring?
leave. When do we want to plan to leave? Like just like in the middle of the night, or like what's the?
When we have our stuff.
So what? Literally, we're gonna return to camp, get our stuff together, and leave immediately.
I think so.
Yes, like I know you're not here currently at the moment, no, but we would have spoken about this before you left.
Yeah.
Cool.
You didn't even have any like tail whoosh. I like the whine though.
Is that 25,
Just like-
is that 25 words?
No, I think it's a few less, but in wolf speech it is.
So what's happening?
21.
You're just all
No,
waiting for.
I'm just typing out my
Make
reply,
it
my
more.
next sending.
Oh, okay, sure.
Rukka is tempted to maybe sit down and try and commune with his spirit guides, just so that way, like, he doesn't have to deceive quite as much.
Do you have a cool spell for that?
No, probably just sit cross-legged and say,
Sure.
"Hey, are you proud of me yet? Am I doing all right?"
Are you
sit
saying this
down,
out loud?
You start contemplating,
Yeah,
like
saying it all out loud.
Afanen says,
Legs
I'm
crossed,
proud of
eyes
you.
closed.
feel like a hand on your shoulder, and Cogna says, "Be yourself. Really cool. Got this." But it would have been really fun if when he like double crossed us, we were like ready for it and just back at him. Ah, well. That would have been a great moment.
Rukka's going to look up at Cogna and go, are you the embodiment of my spirit guide?
Huh? Spirit guide? You have a spirit guide? What's that look like?
Kind of cool. I kind of dress a bit like him.
It's this guide, right? That, you know, it's for your spirit. Hence, spirit guide.
Like he gives me things. He helped me keep my spirit animal.
But you got rid of your whopping great big cog.
Did get rid of my.
See, if you had the cog, you could have been. He could have been cog ner, and you could have been cog 2.
Rukog.
Yeah, I did used to have a big cog. Did you
You
see
did.
me with a big cog? You did see me with a
Yeah.
big cog.
Yeah, we all.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Just running this past by the people that are here. I'm probably gonna say busy tracking blood knives. Will return soon. Plan to leave once we get back. Sneak out separately if possible. I guess I seek. I guess I'll say. I wanted to say they sneak out separately if possible, so I'll add another word in there. We'll
You
talk after. Yeah. You sneak out separately if possible. We'll talk after. That sound good?
No, but you do it.
Why doesn't it sound good?
Because woof woof growl growl.
Yeah. He's not. Åvna's not back yet. She's not back yet.
Yeah, I'm aware. That's what, but that's
Okay.
why you're not here.
That's why I said woof woof growl growl.
I feel like there was something bigger that I missed in that message, and I'm really annoyed I can't remember it.
You can make a history check if you'd like to try and remember it.
I mean, yes, absolutely. Kridi's terrible at history. Although I guess this is more direct history than. Oh no, I'm good. I'm actually good at history. I might ignore me.
He asked where you were, and he asked if he needed to be sneaky.
Okay. Okay, so those then my thing answers all those questions.
It sort of does.
But where are we? We're busy tracking the blood knives for return
You
soon.
don't have to respond to me because I'm not there.
Yeah.
Ignore
Yeah, I know.
me.
And it doesn't actually tell him exactly where we are, which is good, which means he's not going to get us completely busted.
Yeah. Cool. I will. Okay. I will send this as as another sending to Amir, obviously, not to Jiro. I'm not that. I'm not that bad.
Send one to Jiro. That, you know.
How was your...
That was your. Yeah. Oh, that would be mean.
He says, "Okay, we prepare. We'll leave Forge. Tanit will be sad. Are we going after the blood knives? I welcome this. Amir."
Oh, they're gonna leave the forge. That's. I mean, at least it's in a town, so it might not be terrible.
I can't get over how polite he is, using up a word to sign his name.
I mean, he still had spare words, but
You need to hear him say in the background, "How do I turn this thing off now?"
Yeah. How do I sign out? Is it this button? Is it the, wait?
Yep. Yeah. Cool. But the Spirit Forge that they brought with them, is it something that can be, I guess, looted per se? What's the, like, I assume it's massive, but like, can it be broken down?
Absolutely.
That's a big loss for them.
You know what's a bigger loss?
Their lives.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And look, no one asked them to come with us.
I mean, we did.
No. They
We literally did.
No, they said they want to come with us. Amir volunteered.
I'm surprised. Yeah, I guess he did, didn't he?
We
Because
didn't-
we spoke to him about it though, didn't we?
We didn't say, do you want to come with us? He said, I'm coming with you.
Hmm.
He actually pleaded for you
Yeah.
to let him come.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
cool.
yep.
I'm surprised he brought that with him, but I guess if it's portable, it's one of the advantages of it. It's portable, isn't it? So you can just.
It is the only mobile spirit forge in the wastes.
Yeah. That's a. I wonder if there's a way to hide it. I turned to like Rukka and say, "Do you know any way we could like conceal it?"
Conceal a spirit forge on the back of a giant.
I'm aware of how it sounds.
Look, intelligence might be Kridi's dumpster, okay?
It's not.
It's
That's the
certainly
thing.
Sounds like it.
That's why I said Kridi is smarter than I am. Like wisdom and intelligence are Kridi's only good scores.
So what you do is you get some sticks and put them on it and, you know,
Yeah, but I haven't seen any sticks. Maybe you could put it on the road heading back to Dragon's Teeth and slap the megapede on the rear really hard so it runs home.
anyway. It's after 12.
Indeed.
It is. Do you guys want to resolve this in a couple of weeks, or do you want to decide what's actually happening? I don't mind either way. How are people feeling?
If we're not getting any sleep tonight, I'm not gonna be able to get spell slots back. So I really want to save my last third level spell slot just in case I need for something else. So I probably won't respond again to Amir, even though he did ask if we're going after Blood Knives. But like, I'm sure he will do it anyway, so we can tell him that yes, we are once we're heading in that direction. So that should be fine.
Yeah,
What
I think
was-
basically we wait for Åvna to get back, go get our stuff, and then walk out the front gates, so to speak.
Okay, so Åvna will
Um,
return to you.
yep.
Okay, sorry. Unless
I
you're doing
was
something
gonna
in
say, yeah.
between.
Well, all I wanted was ask what Udna was thing. Like, are we? So you found the trail of them.
There were two groups, one to the northwest, one to the north. Both groups entered and then left. The one to the north, I could identify someone by scent that we have encountered before within the labyrinth. But they have travelled to the north further than I felt comfortable following. It could have been a very long trip because they were at least an hour or more old, the tracks. So they are either still in here or whoever came has long gone. With that 28, did I notice that the scents going in were the same as the scents coming out?
Yes.
The same number?
Yes.
Yep.
For the northern group, you don't know for the other group.
Yes, that was the 28 I was asking about. Yep, the northern one. So,
Oh, and in fact, you got a 28 on the northern group. You will also smell. In fact, you'll smell this like no, just there. You will smell that Cognar was around here at some stage.
Mhm.
Not at the same time as these guys.
Is Cognar still with the group?
He's still with these guys, yeah.
Okay.
He's just lying around.
In that case, I'll
He's letting Afanen get an eyeful.
Yep. In that case, I'll say that I identified someone that we fought in the labyrinth, but that group has long gone. I would assume they were heading north along the road back towards the Hollow Tomb. I followed it for a couple minutes, but how long is a piece of string, and how long was I going to travel following an old trail? Did you see them up there, Cognar?
I saw them come into town.
Did you see the other group?
The other group?
The one to the northwest.
Yes. He just smiles at you.
Surprises. I'll say, shaking my head.
I assume we don't want to go after them. I think we should head
They're-
straight to what
They've left.
Yeah, but we don't want to go after them.
No, there's no point going after them. They're not what we're here for.
Cool. Okay, then I guess we head back in. We get our stuff together and head out.
Mhm.
Do we get asked what we're doing? Do we get stopped by anybody? What's our reaction to leaving?
We have convened with
if
our...
Yeah, so you collect Emir? Or are you talking to Emir, or are you going to Emir, or are you just going into town collecting your stuff and leaving?
Collecting our stuff and leaving, I think. We don't want Emir associated with us at this point.
Or the alternative is... What level is sending?
3.
Okay, you want to save us another third level slot.
Yes.
Because I was
I
going to
did.
say you could send him one more time that we are going to create a commotion when we leave, and at that point he should stealth out and meet us on the road going east. Oh, going west, sorry.
Going west, yeah.
Going east
I
would
was
be
like,
difficult.
Yeah, I was going to say straight to the desert.
Yep.
I mean, I could, but I guess maybe nothing will happen on the first night.
But when
I've got
we...
all my other spells.
But when we leave, it will create a commotion. We'll just walk out and we'll say, we have convened with our gods and they have urged us to leave as a matter of urgency and haste. And our spirit guides are now the ones leading us on this path.
Yeah, there aren't really any gods, but yes. The spirits. Alright.
Let me write this out then. Hold on.
Because I'm sure that when the Northern Warriors decide to all just get up and leave in the middle of the night, it will create a bit of a commotion. Because we will be fully kitted out and we'll have Joe Camel.
Or Joe Camel. No rest.
He's been resting.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay, so you head back into town. You do that as you're packing all your stuff up, in your camp. You notice that Cognar's no longer with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you sort of finish packing, Peter comes to see you and says, "My lords, I can't help but notice that you're packing. We're not ready to leave yet."
Your powers of observation do you justice, and the spirits favour you with your eyesight. We are indeed packing, yes.
Okay.
We convened with our spirit guides. They lead us on the path and have urged us to move with due haste and urgency, for the need is great. You can follow.
Wouldn't it be better to travel together, strength in numbers?
But there is weakness in lack of speed. You will catch up with us when the time is right.
Oh, would you mind waiting to speak to our lord?
There is no
No.
time.
We have to go cold swords strike the fastest.
Okay, my lords. And he like turns around and just starts running off as fast as he can. Yeah. So what do you guys want to do now?
Walk out.
Walk out?
I'm also just sending. I will send this message to Amir as we walk back, as we're initially walking back in, from when we
Okay,
just
so
make sure I've got the words right.
you're walking out, and as you walk out, Jiro like rushes up. He's got Gunbeck with him, and Grunbeck, and that other guy that's like constantly with him, and you know there's some other exiles with him. And he's like, oh, well, I hear that your spirit guides have told you to leave urgently.
They have. There is a matter of great urgency that we need to attend. We need to leave immediately. Our spirit guides now are guiding us on this road. You will catch us up when the time is right. Do not dawdle. We have convened at great cost physically and spiritually to get this information. For the sake of all, we must leave now.
Rukka's going to stand right behind Åvna and nodding.
Well, it concerns me that you're rushing on ahead. I thought we had agreed to share the glory.
And the glory will be shared. You will catch up when it is important to do so. The spirits have told us this, but if we do not leave now, all will be lost. Indeed, when the final blade has been drawn and the final blow has been swung, you can have all the glory. We do not crave it.
Very well. Then we will follow in your wake. Make ready the camp.
Let's start pushing.
All right. You guys head out. Meanwhile, what you don't see, but what we're going to roll for to see what happens, is some other people try to sneak out of camp.
Do I get a reply?
Yes. We will meet you on the road. We will use that distraction. Maybe set fire to a building or two.
Good choice.
Nice.
Anyway, look forward to traveling together. Thank you, Amir.
He keeps thanking himself. It's crazy.
And anyway, they're going to try and sneak out of town.
Do we want to set things on fire?
No, they're going to.
They're going to. Rukka is going to be as
good,
loud and obnoxious as possible as he tries to get Joe the camel to move.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's good. And 10. Oh, wow. Okay, that's pretty good.
Because, you know, Oz, we're walking out openly. It's going to be really awkward for us to set things on fire.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we could.
I mean, we can. Yeah, I was going to say.
He's going to try deception. Gets an 8. The guard on insight. He's got a reasonable deception of a total of 9. Good luck with that, buddy. Insight. That's not good enough. Which means that they'll get in a fight. And he will kill the guard trying to stop him. Alright, well, they killed one of them. There we go.
Oh, well,
And
that's
they
great.
escape the camp and meet up with you after setting fire to some buildings. Okay, so you guys will meet up on the road, and we will leave in the background. The camp is like a roiling anthill as people like are getting ready, and they're just like letting these like 2 buildings burn. You think there's like some like people in town like trying to put it out, but it doesn't look like the exiles doing anything. And so you're joined by Amir, Hank and Jack, I
Henry.
believe.
Yeah. Oh,
Henry and
yes.
Jack. Yep.
Henry Jack.
And Tanit is not with them.
She's trying to take the Spirit Forge.
And Amir says she is taking the Spirit Forge into the runes and seeing if she can hide out there with it. She wouldn't leave it, unfortunately. I could not convince her. But
I understand, but hopefully they'll be so focused on us that they will completely. They won't like bother to check. They'll.
it has many launcher construct defenses. It really isn't worth the effort of taking, probably, maybe. Depends how busy Jiro is.
Yes.
But I'm guessing that he will be after bigger game.
Yes. Well, hopefully that doesn't include us.
And when he says after bigger game, you see him like look around.
Like, I was like, how Kridi will say if you're looking for Cogna, he's probably with us, or he might be pissing off everybody else back at camp. Who knows?
All right, and I think we'll probably leave it there. You guys have
Yeah.
escaped the camp, uncovered a plot, and you're out on the road, heading somewhere. Cool. To freshwater, obviously.
Well,
Maybe.
that was good. That was a good session.
Mhm.
Good work, Rukka.
Fancy new cloak does wonders.
Mm-hmm.
Plus
Really
those bar
does.
levels and expertise.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
That's
I'm going to hit the sack. I have to get up early.
No
Fair.
worries.
Thank you very much for
Cool.
running that session. Very fun.
Thanks.
And thank you to my internet for not dropping out.
Hooray.
I couldn't say the same about my power.
That only happened at the beginning, and it only happened once. My internet,
Yeah.
as you've seen in the past, has sometimes decided to say, fuck you, and the camel you rode in on.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, I'm going to head off. Thank you very much. Good night, all.
All right.
Night.
Bye.
Cheers. See ya.
See you later.